On a Friday night in the East Valley, it's time for AIA 6A playoff football. The Highland Hawks host the Valley Vista Monsoon. Alongside Peyton Gallagher, I'm Alex Gowan. Welcome to the East Valley, to Highland. It's a fantastic matchup between two pretty good teams. Highland comes in as the number 5 seed in the 6A playoffs, facing off against Valley Vista, the 12 seed. I want to get your thoughts on Highland's defense. They played pretty well last week, but did take a 28-14 loss against Desert Ridge. What did you see from them, specifically from their linebackers?
The linebackers were everywhere, Alex. Daniel Wood with that pick six, and this team is so reliant on those guys playing at a high level, and they did so last week. The secondary played well for long stretches as well. It's just when your offense has a pick six thrown against them and you get set up in bad situations because you're punting a lot of the time, you're just not in a good situation to succeed. Hopefully the offense can do a better job of backing this unit up today for the Highland Hawks. And one of those linebackers you were mentioning is Cam Cullimore. Has been a great force in that middle line for the Highland defense, and now we'll go down to the sideline to the third member of our crew, Jack Johnson, who is with Cam. Jack?
Hey guys, I'm down on the field with 29 Cam Cullimore. And Cam, you've had to battle through a lot of injuries this year, especially last week. You hurt your shoulder. So first question to you, how are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good. It's been a rough week of practice, but we should have a great night as a team, and we're going to be real physical tonight.
Last week you guys struggled a little bit against Desert Ridge. You've been in every game this year except for the last game. So what were the things you worked on defensively last week to improve for this week?
Last week we were getting mad at each other. This week no one's going to get mad at each other. We're going to be real physical and put Valley Vista in some pain.
What are your expectations going into tonight? You said you're not going to play the entire game. You're going to get in for a few plays at least. So what are the things you're looking forward to making plays on the field tonight?
Well, personally, I want our defense to hit them hard and make them feel how Highland hits, because this is a real 6A football team.
Real 6A football team. You heard it right here. Let's go back up to you guys.
Thank you so much, Jack. We'll keep checking in with him throughout tonight's ball game. It's so great to be able to bring you this free live stream here. It's not on the NFHS network, but you can watch it in the comfort of your own living room. But Peyton, I want to talk a little bit about Highland's offense. Daniel Wood got a little injured, banged up in the first half last week against Desert Ridge. Came back, played in the second half, and he's about to start tonight. That's what our information has right now. What does that bring to this Highland offense as he's almost at 1,000 rushing yards this season? Well,
Highland has suffered a lot of losses, and they dodged a bullet by not having this guy be out for a prolonged period of time because he's their best player. It's that simple. Offense, defense, special teams. When Highland needs a play, number 6 is the guy to give it to him, and today he's going to be huge as he tries to lead this team to a win in the playoffs and advance their hopes in 6A.
And Peyton, we'll hear right from the mouth of Daniel Wood as we go down to the sidelines to our own Jack Johnson, who was with Daniel.
Daniel, you've had a successful season this year. Number 6, Daniel Wood. So what's the touchdown count going to be tonight? Is it going to be 2? Is it going to be 3? What you going to get?
Anything I can take. Let's go for 3. Let's go for 3.
All right, 3's the number. So that's the over-under tonight from Daniel Wood. What are the things you guys are going to try and do offensively against Valley Vista?
I think just be sure to our O-line impose their will against the D-line. Last week, I feel like we came out slow against D-Ridge, and they played physical against us, which props to them. But I hope we just come out with a little more fire this week and we show that we can run the ball against them.
Yeah, I was going to mention, you guys struggled a little bit against Desert Ridge last week. The first time you guys have really struggled offensively all season. You guys were averaging a first down every play. Got away from that last week. So what are the things you guys are trying to go back to for this playoff game?
Just making sure everyone's consistent with how they're blocking, making sure you're physical when you're on the block, making sure everybody's making your reads. It's just a whole team effort. We're trying to everybody's make sure they're doing the small things again.
So you got a little bit of a shoulder wrap going on. How you feeling going into tonight's game?
A little beat up, but ready to play.
All right, ready to play. Daniel Wood, number 6, going for 3 touchdowns tonight. Back up to you guys.
Thank you so much, Jack. We'll keep going down to him again throughout this pregame show and throughout the game so far. Got a lot about Daniel Wood and this Highland linebacking core, but another area where they've been really strong this season is in the back score, the defensive back score. They play 4 of them back there. Deshaun Lee and Jackson Delsey have been locking up the cornerback spots. What have you seen from them this season?
Well, Lee has been very good. They were tasked with a tall order last week against a D1 receiver, a guy committed to Iowa State, and they shut him down. This week, not necessarily the same level of talent on the field, but these guys step up to the order every single time. That starts with Eamon Allen, the safety back there. Leads the team in interceptions with 4, had one last week that was crucial to keep Highland in the game in the early going. He is a tone setter back there, a hard hitter. Expect him to be involved early and often.
And the man directing the traffic in the DBs is our Coach D from Highland. We'll go down to Jack Johnson, who's with Coach D.
We were able to catch up down the field with Coach D, the defensive backs coach for the Highland Hawks. And, Coach, what are you expecting out of your defensive back tonight?
Just playing hard, knowing their responsibility, just doing their job. The back four obviously are one brothers. You know, brotherhood. You got the two corner, got the two safety. Communicate, nothing deep. No passes. No passes past 10 yards is our ultimate goal.
Especially when you played in high school in Kansas City, Missouri, what did you learn from that experience then that you're able to impart in your quarterbacks, your coach?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good response I gotta find, right? So this being smart, just being patient is the biggest thing that I learned growing up, is just being patient, knowing my assignment. If I'm in cover 3, if I'm in cover 2, if I'm in man-to-man, you know, what routes can I elevate or eliminate to read the receiver type of thing.
Now that everything's a little bit more closely watched, especially with cornerbacks and defensive backs, you can't be as handsy with the receivers anymore. How do you coach cornerbacks to not get as much contact but still play the ball?
If you want me to be honest, we physical. I mean, at the end of the day, I could take a flag, a 15-yard penalty, because it's where the penalty possessed at, not where the ball was at. So physicality is what I teach, and what I'm gonna continue to teach is be physical. We going to be the hammer and not the nail. So I teach that, and that's what we live and die by.
Last week, you guys probably had one of your weaker defensive games against Desert Ridge. So what did you guys work on in practice to improve this week's playoff game?
So unfortunately, I wasn't here at the Desert Ridge game because I was a best man in a wedding. So I obviously had to be there. But the same thing, I think, looking at the film and looking at obviously the live stream of the game, of what you guys do very well of, is I feel like we was the nails. They was more physical. They brought more physicality to the game than we did. Secondary played very well. I think probably the best the back four did all year. But just the front seven just feel like they got, they was the nails. So we just brought more physicality to the game, and that's what we're gonna try to bring tonight.
So you have two corners on each side. You have Jackson and John. So what is the differences between those in terms of how you coach them, or do you coach everyone the same?
No, obviously I find out what they're good at. Jay Sean is obviously my biggest and physical corner, and obviously he's more mature because he played last year. Delcy is my more quicker corner, can read hips a little bit better than Jay Sean. So I kind of teach what their strengths is, and that's what we kind of live and die by.
Coach, good luck tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Coach D, the defensive backs coach here at Highland, and he'll be coaching up his defensive backs as they look for their win in the playoff game tonight. Back up to you.
Ready for the coin toss. Ashland has been sung. Playing for the Highland High School Marching Band. And everybody is set and ready for football. As we get you ready between two top-tier teams here in 6A football. The 5-seed Highland and the 12-seed Valley Vista. What are you expecting from Valley Vista tonight, Peyton?
Well, they've got a diversified attack, Alex. They're going to hit you in the air. They're going to try and hit you in the ground with a lot of different players. They've got a quarterback that can really sling the football in delay. The question is whether or not he throws interceptions tonight. 16 touchdowns on the year, but 13 picks. Can Highland be opportunistic and take advantage of maybe some of the bad decision-making of the Monsoon Gunslinger?
Just 109 of 223 on this season. That is in contrast to Gage Bailey, who started the season as Highland's starting quarterback and got injured now in tonight for the Highland Hawks, as he has been for the last 3 games. His number 5, Taylor Siren, he's passed 48 times, 14 completions on 81 total passes, over 2 yards, and just 5 touchdowns. for Taylor Siren so far, and although Coach Farrell believes that maybe he's not quite the quarterback Gage Daly is, he definitely believes that they can do a lot of good things with him, and that includes throw the deep ball.
He's been efficient and effective up until last week, and some of the inadequacies got exposed a little bit against a really good Desert Ridge defense, but he's back out here today in a winner-go-home game for Highland. This is an opportunity on their home field where Highland has been so good all year to start to get the gears back in motion for this team as they move towards the 6A state title.
Highland looking to follow up on last year's semifinal run. It starts today. The Open Division playoffs are also a thing, and some top-tier talent like Chandler with the team that Highland lost to last season in the 6A semifinals is not in the 6A playoffs this year. They're in the Open Division, so it's definitely left the 6A playoffs a little bit more open, and that's exactly what Coach Brock Farrell will be telling his team. We mentioned a couple players on Highland, especially on the offense, but also in this defense. We talked a little bit about it in the pregame, rather. But now tonight we're going to see some of these players again. We talked to Cam Tullamore, Daniel Wood in the pregame, but also Robert Kingsford has been a big deal for this Highland offense and defense so far.
Yeah, Kingsford been the number 2, the Batman to the Robin of Daniel Wood all year long. Another guy who's very capable of making plays. Another guy who's very capable of rushing the passer. But unlike Wood, he is specializing on defense. He plays most of the snaps on that end of the football, and he can really focus his energy there, provide the counter, especially when rushing the passer that Highland needs to diversify their blitz packages.
Valderrama will kick off for Valley Vista. And we are set. 12 minutes are on the clock here at Highland. We are on your way here in Highland, Arizona. It'll be fielded short around the 25-yard line as Highland looks to return. It's not a bad return necessarily, but they will start about their own 22-yard line. Allen, number 46 on the return for Highland Hawks. That's Josh Allen, rather. Junior 5'9", outside linebacker.
And
Receives the opening kickoff. Now drops the Highland offense.
it'll be interesting to see what Brock Farrell trusts this offense with, especially Taylor Siren early on, having the multi-interception game last week.
Grayson Kennedy in there at the bottom of your screen for the injured Tanner Crandall, who has not made the start here tonight. Handoff on the first play out of the pistol, and it's stuffed at the line of scrimmage. And a really good play.
Highland with the football. Siren after that long run inside the 50, and they're going to go back to the ground around the right edge. Big hole, Max Davis, a lot of room to work with, a dash down the hash. Oh, end zone. Max Davis on a 40-plus yard burst to the house. Highland strikes first. And the Hawks are on the board, but, oh wait, a penalty flag down behind the play will erase the touchdown run. And Highland will move back 10 yards in the wrong direction after the holding. The Hawks were snake-bitten early and often by yellow penalty flags a week ago at Desert Ridge, and a mistake by the Hawks offensive line as the touchdown run is knocked out. The score holds 0-0 as Highland is faced with a 1st and 14 from their own 48-yard line. And they'll go back to Davis, who's had a lot of success on the last couple carries. Bursts through a hole and cleans up the penalty yardage as he picks up 5. So pretty much from where we started now, the next play is Highland snatching the ball from the 47 of Valley Vista. It'll be a pass for the first time tonight. Siren looking long, and he's got a target down the field. It's Schroeder. It's Cat inside the 5. Siren to Schroeder for 45 yards.
Big completion there for Zach Schroeder. First down. That's a huge completion for Zach Schroeder as Highland is now inside the red zone. Going forward and into the end zone. It's better. It's better. Rather, I think they'll be ruled a little bit short. As Highland now looking for a touchdown. They'll run a triple option, and into the end zone goes Highland. Touchdown. Touchdown, Hawks. It's a big touchdown for Highland's offense. It's number 22, Braden Bond, the third-string running back.
And Daniel Wood, Alex, a little bit banged up, maybe not as available today as he has been in past weeks. That drive was all Max Davis, and Bond is the one who spells him at the end of the drive as he punches it in for 6 points. Highland starts the way they want and make up for the holding call early on the drive that wiped out the touchdown.
Jackson Ray in to kick away the extra point after Highland puts 6 on the board. Had a little bit of technical difficulties there as the extra point is good. We are back now with you and ready to bring you more Highland Hawks football here on this free live stream of 6A playoff football tonight in the East Valley.
And what you notice on that last drive, Alex, as we join you here today from the booth, Highland wanted to go to the ground in between the tackles and set the tone with their first drive. They were able to accomplish that, and soon as the Monsoon bit up to try and stop the run, they said, all right, you're going to give us the space, we're going to take advantage. They throw the deep bomb to Schroeder, set up inside the 5, and are able to punctuate the drive with 6 points, cap it off with the extra point to get a 7-0 lead in the first 3 minutes of the contest.
Pretty good job by the offense dealing with the penalty there. Highland going to kick it away here, following the first touchdown of the evening. It's fielded inside the 5-yard line as AIA Vista looks to return. On the return is number 2, Tommy Thompson, the senior DB. And Highland stops him inside their own 20-yard line. First and 10 from there.
And here we will see the battle that I think defines the game. This secondary of Highland against the playmakers and quarterback of the Monsoon. Who will come out ahead? And more importantly, is Highland's secondary able to force a couple turnovers here today? We saw exactly what Highland's offense is capable of on the last drive, and if Valley Vista is to win this one, probably going to have to be in a shootout. That's not a good start.
Terrible snap, and Highland bottles it up behind the line of scrimmage. It's a good tackle on first down. There was 2 running backs to either side of the quarterback. Kingsford made the tackle on Burton DeLay, the junior 6-foot quarterback. We've mentioned DeLay. He will take his shots when he gets it down the field. Not a great completion percentage for the junior, but he also has the legs to rush as well. 54 rushes on the season for 339 yards, so we'll definitely keep that in tap. 3 receivers, gives the handoff, and he's tackled again as he tries to fall forward, but he's going to be stopped again short of the line to gain.
The Monsoon trying to stretch it to the wide hash, take advantage of some of the aggressiveness of this Highland defense. So they tried to get the ball outside the numbers and into space, but Highland does a good job playing their responsibilities and closing that play off.
On the carry was Yazid Tyler. He's the workhorse back for this Valley Vista team this season. 3 receivers on 3rd down and 11. Throwing to the right side. It's battled up again. The reception was good, but Highland's defense was right there to cover the receiver. That was number 17, Makai Obregon, but he was stopped real short. It'll be 4th down and about 6, maybe 7.
Highland was playing off there to buzz the coverage, and as the quarterback, you see your receiver there without really anybody in front of him, you say, oh, that's an easy completion, so he throws it short of the sticks. He's got to identify earlier there, though, that there's going to be a safety and a linebacker rolling over the top to make sure that player can't turn upfield. Not a great decision from DeLay early on.
So Valley Vista will be forced to punt here, down 7-0 to Highland. This has been a fortress for Highland this season. They've outscored their opponents by about 250 points here in Highland this season. It's a short punt, fielded at the 42 by Grayson Kennedy. He'll try to get around the defender, but he will be stopped short of the 50-yard line. Highland will start from their own 46.
Really good piece of tackling by Derek Miller there, as it looked like Kennedy might be able to turn the corner, start accelerating upfield, but he held on, so it will drag him to the ground. And you'll notice there, DeLay is the punter for this team. Held on to that ball for a long time, Alex. Nearly saw it blocked.
Nearly blocked the punt. As you mentioned, Peyton, as Highland's offense takes over. Back onto the field is Taylor Siren and 2 running backs. That's Braden Bond on the right side of your screen. And into the slot left goes Max Davis. He's the second back for Highland behind Daniel Wood. They'll motion Davis across the line, fake the handoff. Siren throwing back towards the left side of the field. He's got his man for a screen pass, and he's got a first down in there. Over across the 30 and inside the 20-yard line. Beautiful reception for Zach Schroeder. And Highland is in business.
He's got Brock Farrell up on his feet on the sideline as his coaching staff comes to life at the execution of a really well-designed pass-back screen. The lineman got out in front of Zach Schroeder, and that man has not missed a beat as he steps into the primo role in this offense as a number 1 receiver in the stead of Tanner Crandall, who was hurt earlier this year. Crandall is on the sideline right now, but is not being used in full dress.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the Highland, the Valley Vista 19-yard line. 3 receivers, takes the snap out of the single back formation. Simon rolling out right side, hits his receiver in the flat, going towards the end zone, and stopped short of the goal line, but it's a little reception for the tight end. That's number 81, Chris Alonzo.
And what you're seeing right now is the execution and focus of a football team that's quite frankly ticked off. They didn't like the way that Desert Ridge game went last week, and they've come out here with reckless abandon, just playing football at a very high level so far. The play calling's been on point, and these guys out here wearing teal have executed the game plan to a T. Aside from a penalty or two, and it looks like that might bite them again here.
So it's 1st and goal now from the 2-yard line. Play whistle dead for the moment. Grayson Kennedy going to the sideline. He'll be subbed out, it looks like, as the flag is picked up and Highland moves back 5 yards to the 7. So it's now 1st and goal from the 7-yard line.
Schroeder mashed up 1-on-1, press man coverage on the far side. Could be a fade route, it's there.
Braden Bond is the running back. He gets the carry, barreling across the 5-yard line before being stopped. Short of the goal line, well short. The tackle was made nicely by number 2, Tommy Thompson.
And just keep your eye out there on the perimeter as Schroeder is matched up with Trenton Givens. That press coverage, it's a big commitment by the Monsoon there for their corner. See if he can win that matchup.
Shotgun formation, they'll run Max Davis around and is into the end zone. Touchdown, Hawks. They made that one look easy. They pulled the running back around and gave the handoff to him as they had the second stringer, Braden Bond, on the side of the quarterback. Well-designed play for Brock Farrell, and it nets his team 6 points.
It's a formation, Alex, we've seen ever since the bye week, ever since Taylor Siren stepped in. They'll slide a running back out into the slot and motion him around as a decoy. It could go one of a few different ways. Quarterback could keep it. He could give it to the setback, or he could give it to the motion man. It's almost a triple option look in the way it operates, and it is very deceptive and hard to defend. You've got hard-nosed runners like Highland does.
Kick is up, and kick is good from Jackson Ray. He's been near perfect this season on extra points. And he nets Highland their 14th point of the evening. It's a fast start for Highland, and that's nothing new for them here at this stadium.
Oh, Alex, you hit it on the head. That's what this team has done all year long. You can pile what they've done to teams at home versus what teams have been able to do in terms of scoring to them, and it's astonishing. This team, Highland, outscoring opponents on this home field by over 100 points on the year. What you're seeing is exactly why. They execute at an extremely high level and feed off the emotion of their crowd in this building. That's helped them to hold this number 5 seed, but at some point they're going to have to go on the road and win a tough game. That's the question that lies ahead of them as they've gotten themselves off to the good start here today.
Good start here for the Highland Hawks, 14-0. They lead it just over halfway through the first quarter. And now we'll go down to the sidelines to our reporter, Jack Johnson. Jack, do you have an update for us?
Hey guys, a lot of praise coming down from the Highland defensive staff about their first series, which forced a punt. One of the main messages, they got to make the quarterback throw a little bit more. They didn't really fear the passing game as much as they would have expected. It's the ground game that they're worried about. On the flip side, though, the offensive ground game for Highland has just been unreal. I've never seen holes as big as the one that Max Davis just ran through for a touchdown. One of the most perfectly executed blocking plays from the Highland offensive line all season long. They'll look to continue that success as they're already up 14-0 on the scoreboard. Back up to you guys.
Yeah, Jack, you mentioned it was a beautifully designed play by Brock Farrell, and it left Max Davis wide open. There was a lane about a foot or two big for him to go through on each side of him.
Yeah, about 10 axe handles wide, and then they try to compound it by going a surprise onside kick. Love the aggressiveness from the coaching staff, but Highland unable to recover, and an opportunity for Valley Vista.
5:35 left first quarter as the handoff goes. Highland covers it nicely, but a gain of 7.
And the captain, Henry Brown, the 5'10 senior, is able to make a positive play there, and that's crucial. Can the Monsoon establish their ground game and get some help for delay so that Highland is unable to pin their ears back and really disguise what they're doing? That will really help out their offense if they're able to run the football like they just did throughout this drive and throughout this game.
Henry Brown was the carrier on the last one. Quarterback going to rush here. That's Burton DeLay, the 4th. And he's forward for a first down.
And that's the counter that this offense provides, is when they can run the football, there's a read option element because of how prolific a runner DeLay is. It all starts on the ground, though. They have to be able to execute those small handoffs so that they can run all of their other concepts off of it. Highland trying to take that right away from them with how they're playing defensively right now.
Play stalls for a moment here. 4:42 left to go as the Highland band's going to get into it here. Might be able to hear them in your headset. 3 receivers going to motion 1 to the left to the right side. Takes the snap, delay, throws it. He's got his receiver wide open. He's got the first down and falls out of bounds. That's number 13, Liam Kelleher.
Very well-designed play there as all the receivers on that side of the formation kind of slipped out to set up what looked like was going to be a shot to the flat as they looked like they were about to block, but Kelleher, the inside-most receiver, shot through to the next level of zone coverage and found the hole on the flag formation.
There they go again. Delay. Trying to reverse the field. He's got some space. He's inside the 20-yard line, and he's good for a first down.
Valley Vista doing a really good job here of disguising what they're trying to do offensively and trying to confuse the eyes of the Highland defenders with a little bit of misdirection. Delay got low there, kind of shrunk behind his offensive line and used those guys as a cover he needed to find a hole and get to the outside for the first down.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 from the Highland 15-yard line. Takes the snap, hands off. That's number 24, Henry Brown. He stopped right around the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard or two on forward progress.
It's a big stand from the Highland defense there. You're trying to put Valley Vista in positions where they're chasing the chains, not where they're getting 5-6 yards on first down. That's when they feel comfortable. Now you make Delay a little bit more uncomfortable as he comes to the line and calls the play out on a 2nd and long.
Shotgun formation, 3 receivers stacked to the top of the formation, 1 to the left side. Delay takes the snap, 3-step drop, rolling towards the end zone, and jump ball for it. Highland nearly intercepted it. It was a good cutoff of the route by number 23, Jashawn Lee, and he tipped the ball down.
And that is exactly why Delay has 16 touchdowns with 13 picks this year, Alex, is throws like that where he decides that he's going to throw the ball into tough coverage no matter what. He trusts his arm. That can work to his benefit sometimes, but right there you see exactly why it can be a pitfall for this offense.
He lofted the ball quite a bit to that back corner. Initially he was open, but as the ball lofted through the air, 2 Highland defenders closed on it. Shotgun formation for DeLay now. DeLay going to fall in the backfield, and he's sacked. First one there was number 53, Eli Lopez, I believe. It might have been 52, rather. Logan Wills.
It is, in fact, Wills, and Highland able to collapse the pocket from the middle. And as the quarterback ran up into that wall, he's brought down for a loss and a big field goal try as Valley Vista is trying to get onto the scoreboard for the first time tonight.
Holder is Donovan Greathouse. The kicker is Angel Balderrama. Hold is good. Kick is up. It's in the air, end over end, and the kick is no good, wide left.
That's a massive play in this game. Highland through the first punch, through the second punch, getting up 14-0. Valley Vista kind of stumbled back onto their heels. They recovered the surprise onside kick and are able to mount a very nice drive down the field to put themselves in scoring position, but aren't able to punctuate it with points. And now Highland with a big chance to grow this lead by even more after taking the football. All the momentum back in the hands of the Hawks here.
After the missed field goal, Highland with it now. Siren throws in the flat to his receiver. Going forward. Has some space up to the 40-yard line. And it's a big gain on first down for the Highland Hawks. That's number 1. Drew Tanner, the converted quarterback.
And Tanner was a guy that they tried to feature a lot last week. Wasn't on the same page as Siren. Some drop balls, some overthrown passes on big shots down the field. Really hurt this Highland offense. Good to see him back in the fold early on, making a nice play.
Drew Tanner himself, one of his best moments this season, ran the first kick of the season back for 95 yards and a touchdown against Alhambra. Has had a pretty good season in his first season ever as a wide receiver.
Grayson Kennedy running off late as Highland goes heavy.
Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, throws in the flat, got his receiver on the screen. Drew Tanner falling forward, but he's not going to have a huge gain, maybe a couple, 3 or 4 yards.
Drew Tanner trying to make some magic on that play. Fortunate to get forward progress before stepping back, but Highland using deception again there. Some new looks from this offense, some new wrinkles as they went with 50 personnel, a lot of beef on the line. Only 2 receivers in the formation, but they throw it out of that look, trying to dupe this defense into thinking they're going to run the football, which they've done so well throughout this game.
Shotgun formation for Highland on 2nd and 8 from their own 43. Blitz coming. Takes the snap, same play, throws it off to Max Davis. Davis across the 50 for the first down. Across the 40 now, and pushed out of bounds at the 34.
A show of faith in Taylor Siren early on. This coaching staff doing a good job of giving him easy throws, but that one almost blown up. Makua Pule doing a really, really impressive job blocking the late delayed linebacker blitz. Got a piece of him, enough of the linebacker to give the time to Siren he needed to throw that ball for the easy first down on the screen.
And Poulet himself has been the only freshman starting on the offensive line for most of this season. Coach Brock Farrell thinks he could be a D1 tackle someday. Takes the snap, takes the handoff, going deep now, down the field. He's got him wide open, into the end zone, diving, touchdown! Touchdown, Zach Schroeder! Penalty flag down.
Well, we'll see who this is on. Highland's already had one 40-plus yard touchdown wiped out by penalty. And it looks like they're going to have one about 39, knocked out for a penalty flag as well.
Both teams moving backwards. You got to think it's going to be a penalty against Highland here. No call and no signal yet from the referee. Now we'll get it.
And it's an illegal man downfield. Last week, Alex, I know you weren't on hand for that one, but Highland had done such a good job. We talked with Brock Farrell before the season about his concerns, and he said illegal man downfield with 5 guys on the offensive line that were new to starting. Would this RPO offense really function on the level it needed to with these offensive linemen making the right reads? Last week was the first time we really got an answer of no, and that, again, is the call there.
Siren takes the snap, hands it off. Max Davis through the middle, and he's out to the outside for a first down. They needed 16 yards on 1st and 16, and he gets all of them in a couple. More.
Such a good run from Davis there. As an offensive lineman, you got your head down. You just cost your team a touchdown. Your coach says, okay, I still trust you. He gets right behind his offensive line on that left side, and they open up a big hole for Davis, who's running with authority here in the first quarter.
Max Davis looking for his 8th touchdown of the day. of the season, rather. He had 1 today, so he's now at 8 for the season. 3-step drop, throwing towards the end zone. Got him again, but it's a bit too long for the receiver, Schroeder.
Sirens just letting it out today, and they're really trying to get Schroeder involved. He was a non-factor against Desert Ridge, but this secondary is really struggling to cover these receivers for Highland right now. Guys having plenty of room to run into, and Siren is very confident with his arm at the moment.
Just a minute and 4 seconds remain in the first quarter of play. Pistol formation now for the Highland Hawks. 3 receivers, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Takes the snap, Siren hands it off out of the pistol. It's Max Davis across the 25 and falls to the 24. Be 3rd and long.
Hawks offensive line just leaning on the front 4 for the Monsoon at the moment and getting the push that they have to get for Davis to set up this run game, especially with no Daniel Wood really present in the offense to this point.
Max Davis has been the workhorse so far. Flags fly. Highland thinks it's encroachment. It will be offside against the defense. 5 yards forward for Highland. It's now 3rd and short. So a big difference in that. 3rd and 7 to 3rd and 2.
I'm sure Highland would like to punch this ball into the end zone before the end of the quarter. 35.9 seconds left. 3rd and short. We'll see how aggressive they are.
A little bit more whistles, and it will be a timeout for the Monsoon of Valley Vista. And we've seen almost a full quarter of play here in Gilbert. Peyton, what have you seen so far from this Highland offense?
Run, pass, it really doesn't matter. They're getting everything they want, and they're doing everything that they wanted to coming into this game to the Monsoon. Their game plan has worked out well. They've used the run to facilitate the pass, and they've taken shots down the field without really much resistance from this Monsoon secondary. I don't expect much to change.
Get a quick look at the huddle there. On the Highland side of it, we're so glad to be with you here on YouTube for this free live stream of Highland Hawks playoff football. Alex Gall and Peyton Gallagher with you here in Gilbert. It's been a good one so far, and if you couldn't make the game, we're glad you're here with us. We should have a great finish in store for you here today. It's 14-0 Highland. Valley Vista had a chance to get 3 back, but the kick was no good from about 30 yards out. Highland looking to put 3 touchdowns on the board in this first quarter. 3rd and 2 from the 19. Siren in the shotgun with Davis on his right. 3 receivers, 2 to the right. Takes the snap, fakes the pass to Davis. Lofting one, back corner, end zone, Tanner, touchdown! Touchdown, Hawks! Easy as cake. Siren to the converted quarterback, Drew Tanner. He was wide open there in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, Alex, you said it perfectly. These corners just don't have what it takes at the moment to stand up to the receivers of Highland, their speed, their athleticism. They're creating separation and winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. That's the important thing. They're able to get early breaks on routes and get up the field without much contest because of the press coverage on a lot of these plays by the Monsoon.
Kick is up from Jackson Ray, and the kick is good. 21-0 Highland after just shy of a quarter in play here in Gilbert, Arizona. Lots of good things from the Highland offense in the first 12 minutes. They've had some great holes opened by the offensive line. We mentioned a couple of them up there. We talked to Noah Boone almost on a weekly basis. He had the most experience coming into this season on the offensive line as you get a couple of our sponsors up on the screen. We talk a little bit more about Noah Boone, the 6'2 junior. He's got a great personality, of course. We know that from the post-game interviews with Jack Johnson. But he's also been a beast at blocking this season, Peyton, as well.
Yes, and you said the most experience, but even that's not much. He started 1 game in their postseason, granted a very big one, a state semifinal game against Chandler, but he was the only guy who had seen the field for this offensive line, and for the fact that this group had so few players that had seen actual game action, and for them to play this well at this point in the year starts with Noah Boone and his leadership.
And even someone like Cooper Stevens, who's really not been playing that much this season, but got inserted into the starting lineup a couple of weeks ago. They've been mixing it up there. They've had a couple different centers play this season. They've had more people play at guards and tackles and spots, and they've been moving people around. In spite of that, they've been remarkably consistent this season. Yielded at the 1-yard line off the kickoff from Jackson Ray. Just short of the touchback, and we know Jackson Ray can kick it that far. The return is number 24, Henry Brown. Tyler Archibald making the tackle.
Well, and if you're Valley Vista, you just got hit in the mouth. You're down 3 scores already. At the end of the first quarter, they'll get 1 playoff before the period ends. You got to just kind of lay it all out there. Your season's on the line at this point. You feel like they need to get points on this drive to remain in the football game, as Highland has had complete control from the onset. 5 wide here. First time we've seen this today from the Monsoon.
So 5 wide, no pass. They'll hand it off. There he goes. Forward for a first down. It's a good play design. 5 receivers, and they end up running the ball to Henry Brown.
For whatever reason, the clock has stopped for the time being, and now it runs. To move the chains, I suppose. I think that'll end the quarter. On that 5 wide look, it's exactly what you want. It spreads the defense out because they have to set up with DBs to guard all those receivers. You bring the running back in motion, give him the quick pitch. Not as many guys in the center of the field, easy to get to the perimeter. Really good play set up to start this drive the right way.
End of the first quarter after the first play of the drive. 21 for Highland, and Valley Vista still off the scoreboard. We'll be right back here in Gilbert. Peyton and Alex will take you the rest of the way.
Get the big old nail, put it inside their head.
Back with you here in the East Valley for second quarter football between Valley Vista and Highland. Valley Vista looking for their first points of the game. They'll hand it off to their workhorse running back so far. It's been Henry Brown. He's one of the team captains. Gets to carry the 5'10 senior. Him and Yazid Tyler splitting time here in the early going.
And that there, another example of what this offense is predicated on. They have core concepts like the one that you saw right before the end of the first quarter. They brought the man in motion and got the first down. That sets up other things in their playbook, but for Valley Vista right now, they have to get back to basics and establish those concepts to get their offense moving.
That one going forward. Delay looking for a couple yards on the play. It'll be short, well short of the first down. It's now going to be third down and about 7 yards.
Another big third down, and you have to wonder if you get positive yards here, you might not be playing for the whole enchilada. Trying to go for the first down on this play. If you can get 3 or 4, you're setting yourself up to go for it on 4th.
Big play here for the Highland defense. A man in motion to left side of the line. Takes the snap and play whistle dead. Flags fly on the far side of the field.
And if it is on Valley Vista, that's a backbreaker, a huge penalty that makes this play on third down a lot less attainable and means that this Highland defense is going to get really aggressive.
It'll be 3rd and 12 now. On the last play there, it was blown dead, but they were motioning the receiver, Donovan Greathouse, from the right to the left of the formation. It looks like they might have tried to hit him in the flat, Peyton.
Yeah, and they've got one-on-one coverage on the top of your screen.
You see Greathouse moving to the left side. They're going to look right to him. No, they're going to go far down the field, and it's picked off! Picked off by the Highland Hawks, coming the other way. Big play for number 25, Cole Rude, and he's still going across the 50-yard line, and Highland is pumped. It's a backup corner, and he's got the interception.
And we talked to the DB's coach before the game, and he doesn't just coach the starters. He coaches the whole unit. Root steps into a big moment, makes a great play as he saw the safety rolling over the top. That was Eamon Allen. He saw an opportunity to take a gamble on an underthrown ball and is able to cut it off for the pick, and some of the shortcomings of the game of delay coming into play here as Highland has a chance to throw a maybe early knockout punch and get up 4 scores.
The 14th pick of the season thrown by the quarterback delay as Highland takes over inside territory of Valley Vista. 1st and 10 from the 45, ends in a no-gain screen pass.
On the last drive, this coaching staff and Brock Farrell had no qualms about putting the football in the air, trusting the arm of junior Taylor Siren. They go right back to the sky once more on that play with a quick hitter. 9 minutes and 55 seconds here in Highland. The second quarter is underway as Highland takes control. 2nd and 10 from the 45. Takes the snap, Siren. Siren, no drop on the play, hits his receiver. And moving forward is Grayson Kennedy for the first down. This offense just one step ahead of the defense right now. They're identifying the coverages being played by the Monsoon and running receivers into flat-out areas where defenders just aren't. Siren not even forced off his first read on that throw as he locked in on the receiver Kennedy and drove one outside the hashes.
9 minutes, 18 seconds ago. It's 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line of Valley Vista. Hands it off. Going forward is Braden Bond, and he's got a good gain on 1st down. Now we'll go down to the sideline to Jack Johnson, who has an update.
Guys, one of the things you'll notice down on the field tonight, a couple Highland Hawks players will have white jerseys or white numbers on their teal jerseys. That's because for this playoff game, to get all the men they need, Highland has brought up some of their JV players. Well, Cole Rude, the man with the interception on that last drive, defensive drive for Highland, is a JV player that they brought up halfway through the season. So, Highland making the most out of their roster tonight with players from both varsity and JV making an impact. Back up to you guys.
Yeah, and Jack, it's a really cool feeling, especially if you're a freshman or a sophomore, when you get called up to the varsity for these playoff games. I don't know if you ever had that experience, Peyton. I never personally played football, but I know you did, and I'm sure that might have happened if you ever were playing at a younger age on the JV team.
Well, and more importantly, Alex, as Siren takes a shot to the end zone here.
Shot towards the end zone. It's another touchdown. Touchdown, Zach Schroeder. He had one called back earlier. This one will not be. Touchdown Hawks, it's 27-0.
Yeah, these Valley Vista defensive backs just flatly cannot cover what Highland has to offer with these receivers right now. No Tanner Crandall. He's missed the last couple weeks. As I said earlier in the broadcast, he is dressed today. There are prospects of him playing down this home stretch here in the postseason, but Schroeder has done more than satisfactory. It's taking over for him as he makes another big play, and Valley Vista running out of answers.
Jackson Ray in for the extra point. Kick is up. Kick is good. 28-0 Highland. And Peyton, I just want to fancy you this because Highland is now down its starting quarterback, its starting running back, and its top receiver, and they have not skipped a beat.
Well, and that's what I was kind of getting to is when you're a JV player and you get called up for these postseason games, you feel like you're part of the program. That's what you're playing for. That's the reason you've been coming to these practices and been, frankly, getting beaten up on by the starter guys for the entire season. So for Highland, when you've had all these big injuries, when players feel that they have ownership of the program and have a stake in all of these games, they're going to play harder and they're going to play better in big moments. Highland's been exemplary of that principle as these backups have come into starting roles and not missed a beat, as you said.
Zach Schroeder himself has stepped into that role quite nicely this season, especially after their starting, or top receiver rather, that's Tanner Crandall, went out with an injury the last couple of weeks. Crandall was expected to play today, or at least try to play today. He held off on getting surgery to take physical therapy to try and remedy that shoulder that popped out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and Schroeder has really been able to star in his absence, though, as he leads the team in receiving yards with over 400 now. Leads the team in receptions with over 20 now, and averages, get this, almost 18 yards a catch. That's very impressive as he is such a vertical threat.
Huge vertical threat, and you know why, Peyton? It's because he has the school record in the 300 hurdles. He's also got some speed to blow by the DBs, and that's exactly what they've been doing today. Short kick from Jackson Ray. It's fielded at the 10-yard line. A big hole and a good burst of speed from the return man for the Valley Vista Monsoon. That's their running back, number 24. That's Henry Brown.
And now it's do or die time as Delsey makes the tackle on the kick return to prevent a potential touchdown for Valley Vista. You got to get points on this drive or you're probably out of this game. And your entire season's on the line. This is what you've worked for all year. Monsoon will not go down without a fight, but they need a big play right now.
8 minutes, 37 seconds left in the first half. Takes the snap, hands it off to the running back, Yazid. It's Yazid Tyler falling forward. Maybe a couple yards. 2nd and 7 coming now for the Highland defense. 34-yard line. It's been crazy to watch, Peyton. We've done a number of these streams this season. We're glad to be with you here for playoff football, but Highland has not skipped a beat win here at home. They've poured on the points in the first half and made it very tough for all of these defenses. Is the quarterback rushing for a first down there. A good burst of speed to the outside from Burton DeLay, and he has an easy first down across midfield.
And DeLay, they're using patience to wait for the hole to open up. He located it. Without delay, was able to scurry through the hole for the first down.
There's a number of puns to be made there, Peyton.
I'm sure we will hear quite a few tonight.
7 minutes, 50 seconds left to go for delay. Without delay, we'll have another play.
Rhymes, too.
It does. 3 receivers to the near side of the formation. Takes the snap. Delay. 3-step drop. Quickly throws to the flat for his receiver. Cutting back to the middle, and he has a first down. We have seen some good things from this Valley Vista Monsoon offense. The reception made by number 15, Donovan Greathouse.
And it's just going to come down to, can they avoid turnovers and can they finish drives? The answer so far has been no. The play design there, very smart. So those receivers all ran vertical routes, ran the DBs off, and they just dumped it into the open space, vacated by the defensive backs rolling out there.
Takes the snap. Delay, throws into the flat to his receiver. That's the running back, Henry Brown.
Penalty flag.
Flags fly after the gain of about 4 yards on forward progress.
Wait on the call.
Archibald has been all over the place today for Highland. Made the tackle on that last play. That was the first person there in that pile. 7 minutes, 6 seconds remain here in the second quarter. Flag, looks like they might wave this one off.
And that they will.
So flag waved off. Down is away, so it's now second down. And about maybe 6 or 5, maybe 7 now. 7 yards.
A lot of new faces playing today for Highland. One of those is Zach Malizia, the defensive end, a senior who's out there. Can't say I've called his name all year, but he's starting at defensive end right now on this drive.
The running back is number 24, Henry Brown, the team captain. Delay takes the snap, throws, and tries to get a curl route around it. It was almost a pick play, Peyton, but the pass falls incomplete.
Yeah, first step by the receiver was out towards the end zone. Then he came back in towards his quarterback, Derek Miller, though heard the footsteps of the defense rallying towards him. And even though he had blockers in front, isn't able to hold that ball in. Could have been a big play.
Another third down here in Highland. The fans will be on their feet. And the PA here encouraging the Highland fans. This is not a library. They'll get loud here. Pressure out of the pocket, rolling to the right side, throwing Delay. He hits his receiver for a first down. That's one of the best throws we've seen Delay make today. And he's got his throw over to the receiver. That is Greathouse.
Delay using his legs and athleticism to extend that play, kept his eyes downfield and waited for the defense to make a mistake. They do. They leave a receiver open in the second level, and they pick up the first down. Very good play by Delay.
Greathouse himself, the junior 5'7" receiver. Not a lot of size, but definitely has some speed. He had it there. Hands it off to the running back, and he blew the coverage. Great job there by the Highland defense. That was number 42, Monai West, and number 8, Robert Kingsford, who both made the tackle.
And Kingsford came untouched from the weak side. And that's how you play a read option. You meet at the mesh point. that read option is all built around the defensive players making decisions and then the offensive player making the decision in response. But if you just tackle both the running back and the quarterback, they aren't coming to you, you're coming to them. Kingsford does a good job there.
Running back is Aiden Cunningham.
Ball's out. That's a fumble. I think Highland has it.
Highland thinks they have it. We'll see what the refs think at the bottom of the pile. No point yet. Highland comes up with the ball. Let's see if they rule it down. No
Could have been forward
signal
progress.
yet. And I think they will keep it with Valley Vista, at least for the moment. Ball spotted at the 25-yard line. Wasn't a first down either way.
And Derek Miller just dodged a bullet, getting twirled around in the whitewater of this defense in the middle of the pile, fighting for extra yards. He gets popped, the ball comes out, but a forward progress whistle came in and saved the day. So Valley Vista continues this drive.
Dropping deep. Now pressure through the pocket. Gets away from pressure. Delay trying to rush for the first down. He's not going to get there.
I think you go for this.
Coming over to make the play on defense for Highland is number 18, Aman Allen. 4th down and 9 yards to go.
Offense going to stay out there. They missed a field goal from just about this range earlier on in the game.
Allen himself leads the team in interceptions. Almost 50 tackles this season. Had 13 of them earlier this season against Desert Vista. He's been one of those two good center backs. Cornerbacks, rather. I'm thinking soccer. 4 minutes, 12 seconds remain. 4th down and 9. Rolling out right side delay. Trying to hit it was a receiver in the flat, and it's incomplete. Incomplete, and Highland takes over. Coverage put on by Kingsford.
A nice hit at the end of the play for good measure from Kingsford, who's been all over on this drive. And Highland's defense able to get another stop, another turnover. Valley Vista, who's moved the ball up and down between the 20-yard lines, is yet to crack the scoreboard with another mistake in plus territory.
So Highland takes over, looking to put one more touchdown on the board here in the first half. They lead it 28-0. Takes the snap, hands it off to Max Davis. Davis spinning to the inside and gains a couple.
Davis has been effective on the ground today, running behind this offensive line that's getting so much push right now. Really facilitated the vertical passing game of the Hawks.
Davis himself made the Rich Ober AZ Republic 2019 watch list. We're watching a lot of him tonight. Takes the snap, picks the handoff to Davis, throwing over the middle, and it's in double coverage, and it's nearly picked off by number 2, Tommy Thompson. He's been all over the place for the defense of Valley Vista.
Well, that time they bracketed Schroeder as he ran the route over the middle of the post. They've been getting cooked by him all game long. They say, we're not going to get beat by number 2. They commit the extra defender to him there. They're able to force what almost was an interception.
Late coming defender there in the safety slot. And it bottled up Zach Schroeder. He'll go to the far side of the formation.
And he's going to be all by himself against that cornerback.
Takes the snap, 3-step. They're looking right to him. Got him for the first down. Money to Zach Schroeder. There was nothing they could do. They dropped off him looking for the deep ball, and he cut his route short.
And Trenton Givens was thinking exactly that. He was backpedaling, trying to take away the 9 route, the deep ball. Schroeder smart enough to break the route off, get back to the ball for his quarterback to drop one in the bucket for the first down.
Good play design after they went deep on the post route the previous play to cut the route off and go right to him. You saw Siren. He didn't look at anybody else except for Schroeder. 1st and 10 now from the Highland 31-yard line. Got a big hole through the middle. That's Braden Bond. Bond across the 50-yard line, and he spins across the 40.
And more than anything there on that run, Max Davis is able to set up his blockers. Did a very nice job of waiting for guys to get to their block and get in the right positions before hitting different bursts of acceleration, using all the different gears of his speed to make that play happen.
My apologies. That was Max Davis on that last play. He's now well over 500 yards on the season. Began today with 479 and 7 touchdowns, and looking for much more here this evening. 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line to the Monsoon. Takes the snap, makes the handoff. Siren throwing over the middle for the deep ball. He just missed him. Going down the field, it was Schroeder again who freed himself up, had a step on the DB, but he couldn't get the completion.
And a pass interference call is coming, but ultimately the defender made the right play there as Donovan Greathouse just wrapped up and gave a hug to Zach Schroeder. Maybe not so friendly on the gesture, but Schroeder had him beat for a touchdown, and the NFL, it's a spot foul. The ball would have been down at the 2-yard line, but at this level, it's only 15 yards, and you'll take 15 yards over a touchdown against you every single day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Pass interference assessed against Valley Vista, like you mentioned, Peyton. 2:52 to go. Highland looking for a touchdown. They've gone down the field in just a minute of play. Flags fly before the snap.
I think a receiver or an offensive lineman may have flinched. Highland moving back 5 yards. So they give 5 of the 15 back, and it only ends up being about a 10-yard penalty against Valley Vista. Again, they're playing that press man coverage on the near side with the safety over the top. Whichever side the one receiver is on for Highland, that's where they're doing it.
Siren takes the snap, gives the handoff. Max Davis. Davis on the ISO plate across the 25, short of the 20.
Highland chooses to run it there and pretty much makes up the penalty yardage as they get 4. But that is very interesting that Valley Vista has consistently done that despite having their struggles defending these Highland receivers.
2nd and 11 coming for the Highland offense at the 30.
Yeah, usually when you're getting beat deep, you want to give the underneath stuff to them and just prevent the long ball, but that hasn't really been the thought process for the Monsoon so far.
Takes the snap from the 26, fakes the handoff. Throwing over the middle, he's got some space, and it is incomplete to Zach Schroeder.
He had his choice of receivers. Siren did, as Kennedy also ran open on a similar route from the opposite side. But for the first time today, some very nice coverage played by Trenton Givens as he was in the back pocket of Schroeder the entire time and broke on the football to break it up.
Coach Farrell said one of his strategies with Taylor Simon is to run, and then chuck it deep. We've seen a lot of that here this evening.
3rd and long, a great opportunity for the Monsoon to get off the field.
Haven't seen the Wildcat yet, but he did mention, Coach did, that they might employ that a couple times here in the last couple weeks of the season and in the playoffs. Pass is caught near the first down marker was Drew Tanner, and it will move the chains forward.
And that play there, just more of, okay, let's not have a turnover. Let's not have a turnover. Let's set up our kicker in a position where he can make a field goal and extend our lead. More so than throwing it down the field and trying to get the first down. They just wanted to make the smart play, and whatever came of it comes of it. Now Highland will get a field goal opportunity from the ever-consistent Jackson Ray, who's been so good this year.
Ray's only missed a couple field goals this season. Kicking from the 30-yard line. It's a 40-yard kick. Nearly blocked. Kick is in the air. Spiraling end over end. It is through the uprights. What a kick from Jackson Ray.
One of his best of the year as he snuck it inside that right post. Tough from the far hash, but he knocks it through, and his shot from 40 yards out is true.
Some of our platinum sponsors up there on the screen right now. We're so thankful to all of them for supporting Highland Hawks football and for making what we're doing here possible here tonight. Generous for the Highland Hawks Booster Club to help front the cost for all of you viewers here tonight to be able to get you some free coverage from your living room of Highland Hawks playoff football. It's been a great evening with you here on the call of this one. Highland 31, Valley Vista nothing, with 1:32 left to go, first half.
Highland has just been so demonstrative here on this turf all year, and that's what the Desert Ridge loss a week ago really hurts, because they're not going to be able to host the entire way through like they would have up into potentially the state semifinal, maybe even to the state championship game. Now as the 5 seed, they're destined to go on the road at some point. Most likely next week as well.
Kickoff is away from Jackson Ray. It's towards the end zone, fielded in the end zone for an automatic touchback.
Valley Vista with nothing to lose here. Expect them to sling the football coming out on offense, just trying to get some points. They do get the ball to start the second half, so if they can crack the end zone, they're not quite out of it just yet. But I said it the last 3 drives, and I'll say it again. Points are the imperative right now. They've been able to pick up yards, but they've yet to find their way into the end zone.
Highland or Valley Vista will play the winner of Boulder Creek and Queen Creek. Queen Creek the 4 seed. So if either of these teams won, they would play on the road at Queen Creek if Queen Creek pulls out the victory today against Boulder Creek. That game taking place right now at Queen Creek High School. We'll try to get you some updates as that one goes forward.
And this now the 5th possession of the game, I do believe, for Valley Vista as a penalty flag comes out. This is pretty striking, Alex. 5 possessions at this point. They've only punted once, but they've not scored a single point.
That's pretty telling, isn't it, Peyton?
Yeah.
Turnovers are the story.
And the 1 interception, the turnover on downs, and the missed field goal. Think about all those plays, and if you get 14 points from those first 2 drives, and then you get the field goal at 17-31, much different story.
Pass complete to number 17, Makai Obregon. Kingsford with the tackle.
Clock runs a minute 20. They make up the penalty yardage.
Kingsford himself well over 60 tackles this season. Has over 4 tackles for loss and a sack to his credit. Almost 7 tackles per game. He's been all over the place today. Maybe he says he might have 6 in the first half, Peyton.
You very well might, as this timeout is called and the clock does stop. A second added back on, but as you were saying, Alex, everybody on the field involved today has been very good for Highland.
Some more of our sponsors up on the screen during the timeout. Again, we thank all of them for their coverage and support of Highland Hawks football. Cody Cameron reporting at the Queen Creek game today. It's 17-14 for Queen Creek in the late part of the first half.
Queen Creek, a team that Highland was able to take care of on this very own home field already this year. Ooh, that ball is nearly picked. There's that man again on the far side, Rude.
Rude's been all over the place today. Hasn't played a whole ton this season. Highland getting some more players in today. Haven't heard about an injury to Jackson Delsey. We've seen...
He's played special teams.
Of course, just Sean Lee out there today as well.
Delsey's been involved in the special teams game, Alex. He's been on the field. They're just choosing to go with Rude in this one.
And Rude has definitely shown some really good flashes here this evening. Kyle Olson up there on the left side of the defensive line. The near side of your screen, they'll move Kingsford up near the line as well. Look for this pressure coming here as they'll run it up the middle across the 20-yard line, and really nothing going there again for the Valley Vista offense.
And that's kind of a fall on the sword type play as the clock is paused for a 4th down and a player is down.
4th and 8 after the injury timeout. 2 timeouts remain for the Highland Hawks. Rather, they'll take a timeout here. Timeout just came off the board, at least. 1 timeout left for the Hawks. They might have meant to take it off the Monsoon, which means they would have 1 timeout left.
Well, I think there's a potential here that Brock Farrell with a minute 9 and 1 timeout with the way the offense has moved the football, that they just want the ball back to add some more points to this lead heading into the locker room.
It's very possible, to be honest with you. They might try and do something here. They might draw something up.
Well, after the loss a week ago, you look at the 2 losses prior to the Desert Ridge game and you go, okay, those are very good teams on the road, losing close games.
By a combined 4 points or something of that nature.
Yeah, and exactly right. Highland's looking at those and like, okay, we missed opportunities, but we played well. A lot of things that we can be proud of from those games. Last week they just got thumped. And you can tell this team's maybe a little bit angry about that this week and the way they're executing things, the way they're going about their business.
And it's got to hurt even more knowing you got the 5 seed even with the loss, and a bad loss last week against Desert Ridge. But knowing that even if they would have won that game, where would they have been, Peyton? It might have been 2-3 in the 6A playoffs.
I do believe they would have been the 3 seed behind Brophy and a couple other schools, with Hamilton, Chandler, and Pinnacle all in the open division.
Red Mountain with the number 1 seed in the 6A playoffs this year.
Just a missed opportunity, and this team Whoa!
It's a big one going towards the back of the end zone. They might fall on it here, and it's going to be a safety. 2 points on the board for Highland. And you know it's a safety because as soon as every single player gets a safety, everybody makes the sign.
Little genie dance going on the field right now as everybody in teal turns into a belly dancer, and Brock Farrell gets his wish with a 2-point present. He's going to get the ball back after the safety.
Amon Allen was in there to pressure. Don't know if he made the initial tackle, but Highland putting on a lot of pressure on that 4th down play. Helped out by the bat snap. And they'll take over after a punt here. I believe they call it a free kick. Or am I going back to soccer again?
It's something like that. 'Tis the season, but right now for Highland, you're looking at everything and you think this half has gone about as well as it could. They get the safety there. They get the gift after the bad snap. They're going to get the ball back with 1 minute and 2 seconds. 1 timeout to work with, and what probably will be a pretty good return here unless Valley Vista chooses to punt the ball out of bounds. Plenty of opportunity to go back down the field and score again to make this potentially as big as a 40-point lead before halftime.
So it will be a kickoff here, but it will be from the 20-yard line. So Highland should have very good starting field position. Kick is off, then it's away. It's a squibber. Fielded at the 50-yard line by Amon Allen. He'll burst forward to the 40. Highland's got 40 yards to work with in 1 minute, too.
And you're already about 15 yards away from field goal range. The way you're throwing the ball down the field, Taylor Siren has been unabashed with how he's attacked this defense. Have to think they're going to come out here and sling it. And now the coverage comes into play for Valley Vista and how they're going to choose to try and play this here. Are they going to try and prevent the touchdown? Or are they going to be aggressive? Or are they going to just play for the field goal and get out of this first half?
Be 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. They'll send the offense back out there. True Tanner, or that might be Grayson Kennedy, having some words with the official near the 40-yard line, near side of your screen. Also out there for Highland is number 31, Logan Kingsford, the wide receiver.
And you've got stacked singles coverage on your 2 best receivers on the far side of the field with Tanner in the slot and Schroeder out wide. There's big cushion so you could break something off underneath, but if you can get protection here, it could be another shot play to that right side.
Shotgun formation for Taylor Siren, looking for another touchdown. 33-0 Highland, late second quarter, under 1 minute to go. 3-step drop, throwing to the flat, it's nearly picked off. Jumping the route for Valley Vista was number 27, Kendrick Miller, the junior outside linebacker. Didn't quite get there for the interception, but it falls incomplete nonetheless.
And that's actually a pretty good throw from Siren, driving the ball outside of the defensive back that was sitting and waiting the buzz coverage to his receiver, but Schroeder unable to stretch out and make the play.
Look at Zach Schroeder near side of your screen. Lofting ball, got it to Max Davis. Has some blocks set up on the left side. There goes Davis to the near side of your screen. Kept it back at the 10. Falling forward, is he in? Touchdown! Touchdown Hawks! There he goes again, the $1 million man. It's Max Davis.
This screen game just so prolific from this offense. They just have gotten everything they wanted here today and done it well. We've seen them score on screens before, but when these offensive linemen get the chance to block somebody a little bit smaller than them, they take advantage almost every time for Highland, and that time able to punch it in for 6 more points. This lead is getting out of hand, 40 points with it PAT on the line.
It's becoming a rout here at Highland High School in Gilbert. Kick is up, and it's through. 40-0 Highland. Late second quarter, and Jackson Ray will get some more action. Kicks it off in a couple to Valley Vista. We'll take a step aside for a couple moments here. Peyton and Alex, end of the first half coming up.
Get the big old nail, put it inside their head.
believe that we will win is the chant from the Ferals fanatics. As Highland leads 40-0 late in the second quarter. Receive from Jackson Ray at about the 10-yard line. Returns to the 27. And if you are Valley Vista, you have to take a shot here, don't you, Peyton?
You'd think so, but at this point, the game's almost out of hand. This would be a very miraculous comeback. Your season's coming down to a winding close if you're Valley Vista. In theory, you can replicate a 40-point half. Highland was able to score 40 points and a half, so why can't Valley Vista? But right now, your season's probably coming to a close, and you just want to go out there and have fun, make some memories.
Empty set for the quarterback, Delay. Takes the snap, throws over the top for Liam Kelleher, but he stopped short. 52 was there for Highland. That's Logan Wills.
And that's the benefit of having a pass rush that can generate pressure with only 4 guys. They're able to bend the pocket there, get in the quarterback's face. He's forced to go to the check down, but when that's the case, you only need to bring 4 players. You have the numbers you need at the second level to defend the underneath stuff. It's exactly what Highland did.
29.6 seconds remain here as the ball sits just short of the 30-yard line.
Valley Vista with a timeout, so clearly still some intent to try and get some points on this drive. New cornerback into the game for Highland as the reserves getting a lot of time. Chase Roner is out there on the perimeter.
Empty set, 5 receivers, takes the snap, hands it off. Out there on the outside. He's got a couple blockers, but it'll be short of the 35. Good tackle again by Amon Allen. Also up there was number 51, Tylerson Lomu.
I think that'll do it for the first half.
That should do it as the clock winds under 10 seconds now. Valley Vista doesn't look in any rush to get a play going, and that is how the first half will end here at Gilbert, Arizona. Highland 40, Valley Vista nothing. As Highland, Logan, and Robert Kingsford pumping up the sidelines. The crowd loves it in Gilbert. We'll be with Coach Farrell in a couple seconds. There's someone across the field right now, folks. He's on the far side of the field now, and I think he's had enough for tonight. He'll be out of here. I don't even know if people noticed him, Peyton.
I don't either.
Never seen that before in high school football.
Yeah, I'm trying to put together exactly what's going on right now. Highland's team is still on the football field. And I think you're right. That may be the ball game. I'm very confused as to what's taking place.
Stay tuned here as we'll have head coach Brock Farrell in just a couple seconds with our own Jack Johnson as Highland walks to the locker room up 40-0 here in the first half. And now we will go down to the sideline to our own Jack Johnson, who is now on the sideline with Coach Farrell.
We're able to catch up with Coach Brock Farrell. First half for your team, you're up 40-0 on the scoreboard. It is a playoff game, so obviously you're coming in. This is a must-win game, but your team just seems to have everything going tonight. So what are the takeaways you have from the first half?
We're pretty good. Our O-line came to play. You know, that was the biggest thing. I don't know how many people noticed, but we have a lot of key players not playing today. You know, Desert Ridge is really physical, and we're recovering from that game. And the kids that are playing are really playing well, and I'm proud of them.
Yeah, I was going to mention with my second question, you're sitting some guys as a precautionary measure, or just they couldn't play tonight? I mean, namely Daniel Wood, obviously a couple other players. Gage Daly suited up for the first time in a couple weeks. So are you just keeping them out as a precautionary measure, or did you expect to use them tonight?
They were told by the trainer that they are not playing. If something horribly went bad, we might be able to kind of, in case of emergency, break glass. But really, they're not. Tanner Crandall and Daniel Wood and all of them, they really shouldn't be playing. So because, we want to look out, number one, for the health of them and their long-term health. So, our trainer Dave does a great job. And so Mr. Hayward was like, yeah, you guys aren't playing. But they're seniors, so if something went wrong, we'd let them try to get one more game. So there you go.
How relieving is it as a coach, though, that your team, with the guys that you do have on the field tonight, you don't have to put those guys in the game. Your team has already taken care of it. You can kind of start to focus on the end of the game and getting the second and third string in. So how valuable is it that you didn't need to break the glass and put those guys in and risk their health?
Well, we still got another half, but the first half went really well. So I'm thankful the first half has gone really well and that we played to how we should. So I'm thankful that the guys came out. The guys that were playing, they came out intense, and they came out to win. So I'm proud of those guys. Obviously, it's a great start. And if we can just finish this thing and get to next week, it'd be great.
There's a noticeable intensity increase from last week to this week. Was that something you tried to emphasize this week during practice?
The biggest thing is we just wanted to always practice the same no matter who we're playing. So we definitely, like on Wednesday we had a dance party to try to raise the energy level in practice. But I think the biggest difference is just Desert Ridge is really physical. They're a big, strong, physical team, and we're a big, strong, physical team. And so it was a heavyweight fight last week, and this week not so much.
Yeah. Good luck with the rest of the game, Coach.
Thank you.
Brock Farrell, this team's doing well, and he's fired up. Room. They're going to come out and try and put away this 40-0 game. Right now, the Highland Hawks are ready to go. We'll go upstairs, back up to you guys.
Thank you so much, Jack. Having a little bit of technical difficulties with our camera. Maybe that's due to the Highland High School marching band. On a Friday night in the East Valley, it's time for us pregame as we get some more action here from Highland High School. It's 40-0 in favor of the Highland Hawks as we go to the halftime break. We'll catch you on the other side. Peyton and Alex will take you the rest of the way.
My grandpa. My uncle. Probably my dad. Reggie Lewis. My dad. Probably my dad. Probably my dad. My mom. My dad. My mom. My uncle. My dad. My dad. My dad. Adam Thielen. My dad. My dad. My brother. My dad. Brian Bosworth. My mom. My dad. My dad. Superman. My dad. Probably my dad. Burritos. Sushi. Pizza. Chicken. Cheeseburgers. Hot wings. Orange chicken. Chicken. Costco hot dog. Chipotle. Wings. Pizza. Chicken Alfredo. Barbecue pork chops. Street tacos. Steak. Wings. Everything. Steak. Chicken wings. Broccoli casserole. Cheeseburgers. Pizza. 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 Hamburgers. Pizza. Because I love scoring touchdowns. Just the brotherhood. Because I like to hit people. Love to hit people. For the clout. Just like playing with my brothers and just having a good time. It gives me a chance to hit someone. I love to play with my friends. I like to hit. Physicality of the sport. I just played it ever since I was little, and I love the game. No reason, I just like it. We can unite as a brotherhood. Experience and the time you get to spend with friends. The family bond. It's in my blood. Because I love to hit people and have some fun. I hit the ball with my brothers. To come out here with the boys and compete for the brotherhood. It's a big brotherhood, and we all get along really well together, and we all play really well together. So I get to play with my best friends. The competitiveness. It gives me a chance to hit somebody. I like hitting people. I like playing with my brothers and my friends.
Back with you here at Highland High School. It's Peyton Gallagher and Alex Gall at the half here. Highland's marching band now going. And we'll send it down to another interview on the sidelines with Jack Johnson. He's with Arizona family correspondent Tressa Tudrick, who joined us in the ball game. Jack?
Well, we were able to catch up with Arizona families, Tressa Tudrick. Tressa, every time you go to high school, you try out the nachos. So I got to ask you, how are the nachos here at Highland?
So I just have to put it out there that Highland had the most aesthetically pleasing nachos I've had so far this season. The cheese was just drizzled on the top. We had nachos perfectly placed. It was a delicious treat to start the high school football game tonight.
So you've been called the face of Arizona high school football. You've been all around. So what is it about high school football that's so appealing to you?
Well, that's a big title. I don't know if I live up to that just yet, but high school football has kind of been my blood, and just the camaraderie, how it brings everybody together. You got the band, you got the spirit leaders, you have the game, and just everything about high school football embodies what I love about sports. Just how coaches are, how the players respond, just the atmosphere, the highs, the lows, all of it.
So now that you have covered high school football, you've done a lot, obviously, with the network. What is it about Highland specifically that you love coming here?
Besides their nachos?
Besides the nachos, yes.
Besides the nachos, I think it's just the warm welcome. Arizona high school football has been so responsive and kind to me in the process, but here at Highland, they've got first of all, besides the cow smells, I don't mind the cow smells, I actually grew up with it, but the pretty skies and the sunsets and when the lights hit just right, the team is great. Coach Brock Farrell is amazing, and just the whole atmosphere and Alicia behind it, just everyone really facilitates to make sure everyone's having a great high school football experience.
I was going to mention, you've covered a lot of high schools. You've interviewed a lot of high school coaches. Brock Farrell's on the nicer end of the spectrum. So what do you do when a coach is a little bit frustrated, a little bit gruff after the game?
You know, that's understandable. Most of the time I get to talk to the winners, so I'm always on their good side. So I'm a fan of everybody. You know, I want everybody to do well. But Coach, you know, he's got the Farrell fanatics. He's obviously very loved here. And last season I was their good luck charm. So we have a great relationship. But when a coach is not pleasantly or wants to talk to you, you know, you have to understand they're in the middle of a game. There's emotions are high, and things are just going to happen. You can't take it personally.
Yeah, exactly. So what are you expecting from tonight's game?
Ooh, you know, I hate to call bluff on, you know, playoff games because I think all bets are off. But, you know, number 5 seed, number 12 seed, it should be a great matchup. I don't know if Valley Vista could pull off the upset, but Highland, you know, great chance so far with 6A with the whole split with the open division. So I think they have a great shot in it.
I was going to mention, so what are your thoughts on that with the realignment of the divisions? Just kind of walk our viewers through what's going to happen over the next couple years with Arizona high school football.
Sure. So the open division is a new concept developed by the AIA where it basically takes the 8 best teams, it doesn't matter what division you're in, 4A, 5A, or 6A, and allows them to compete on a different scale and levels out the playing field, so to speak. So it's not just the same teams that are competing in the state championship game. So right now, there's no Chandler, there's no Hamilton, there's no Pinnacle in 6A, for example, so that really opens up the door for opportunities like a Highland program or other teams who might have not seen that chance prior. So I think it allows the big dogs who have kind of, you know, established their programs to compete at one-on-one and not keep the same 3 teams winning, but allow other schools the chance to grow too. So I think it's great.
So when is that motion going to come down? Is it going to be next year, or is it going to be a couple years more down the line?
So this is the first season they're actually implementing it, and the teams that are competing in the open division actually are on a bye this week, and they'll go straight into the quarterfinals. So this time we'll have a couple different state championships, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, and then the open division title as well.
All right, so a lot of exciting things happening around the Valley. Tressa, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's go back up to you guys.
Thank you again, Jack and Tressa Tudrick of Arizona Family 5. As we help you take in the sights and sounds of high school football, 6A state playoffs will resume with that action as the Highland Hawks are up 40-0 on the visiting Monsoon of Vista Valley here on the Highland Hawks TV network.
Get the big old damn foot inside their head.
My grandpa. My uncle. Probably my dad. Reggie Lewis. My dad. Probably my dad. Probably my dad. My mom. My dad. My mom. My uncle. My dad. My dad. My dad. Adam Thielen. My dad. My dad. My brother. My dad. Brian Bosworth. My mom. My dad. My dad. Superman. My dad. Probably my dad. Burritos. Sushi. Pizza. Chicken. Cheeseburgers. Hot wings. Orange chicken. Chicken. Costco hot dog. Chipotle. Wings. Pizza. Chicken Alfredo. Barbecue pork chops. Street tacos. Steak. Wings. Everything. Steak. Chicken wings. Broccoli casserole. Cheeseburgers. Pizza. 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 Hamburgers. Pizza. Because I love scoring touchdowns. Just the brotherhood. Because I like to hit people. Love to hit people. For the clout. Just like playing with my brothers and just having a good time. It gives me a chance to hit someone. I love to play with my friends. I like to hit. Physicality of the sport. I just played it ever since I was little, and I love the game. No reason, I just like it. We can unite as a brotherhood. Experience and the time you get to spend with friends. The family bond. It's in my blood. Because I love to hit people and have some fun. I get the ball out with my brothers. To come out here with the boys and compete for the brotherhood. It's a big brotherhood, and we all get along really well together, and we all play really well together. Because I get to play with my best friends. The competitiveness. It gives me a chance to hit somebody. I like hitting people. I like playing with my brothers and my friends.
Welcome back to Highland. It's a big blowout here in the first half, 40 for the Hawks. And the Monsoon are still without a point on the scoreboard. We got a couple updates to get you as we expect some of the bench to open up for Coach Farrell here in the second half of play. We might see Taylor Siren again. We also might not, so stay with us. We'll be back in a couple to start off the second half of play between Valley Vista and Highland. Our Jack Lauderay is down there on the field. He's got a great angle and a great vantage point as the Highland Hawks come back onto the field for the second half of play. You never know what you're going to see in Arizona high school football, and today we've seen a good one if you are a Highland Hawks fan. Alex Gall and Peyton Gallagher with you here on the call. Peyton, we saw a lot of things from Highland in the first half. A lot of good offense, a couple good defensive stops, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, Alex, you said it perfectly there. A little bit of everything is right. There's a little bit of everyone, too. A lot of different guys that we haven't necessarily seen throughout the year able to step up, make plays for Highland, especially on the defensive end is Cole Rude. The former junior varsity corner had an interception. Nearly had two in the first half. A lot of other guys getting their names called tonight, and Highland is flying high in this one.
Keep giving you updates here on the game that the winner of this one will play. Boulder Creek, number 13, leads Queen Creek 21-20 at the half. That was as of 7 minutes ago. So that's a big potential development here, as if Highland pulls this one out, or for the matter if Valley Vista pulls this one out, they would host next week. Valley Vista, the 12 seed, would host the 3rd seed Boulder Creek. Highland would also host next week the number 5 seed in this 6A playoff bracket.
as Highland warms it up. We're about a minute away from kicking off the second half. We'll toss it to a quick break and be back with more action from Gilbert. This is the Highland Hawks TV Network.
Now we'll go down to Jack Johnson on the sideline. He has an update
We're
on the
back down
situation
here on the sideline for the start of the second half. The score 40-0 on the scoreboard, and the Highland Hawks coming out of the locker room very relaxed. In fact, so relaxed that their middle linebacker, Cam Collimore, came rolling out with a piece of pizza in his hand. So Highland obviously going to have a little bit of fun in the second half as they're up 40-0 on the scoreboard. A little bit more of an update. Currently, Boulder Creek, the 13 seed, up at the half, 21-17 against Queen Creek. Definitely something to look for, because if Boulder Creek wins, Highland will have another game here next week, next Friday night. Of course, if Queen Creek wins, it'll be the 4 seed versus the 5 seed. They'll have to travel to Queen Creek next week. Now, there was a conversation at the end of the first half that you guys were talking about at the break. Valley Vista is not forfeiting this game. What's going to happen is the 42-point barrier is when the time starts rolling to start the second half. That's not going to happen. So the conversation between the Valley Vista coach and Coach Brock Farrell for Highland, the clock is going to be rolling this entire second half to get people out of here as fast as possible, because this game, as we can see, 40-0, pretty much in the bag. We'll go back upstairs for the second half. Alex and Peyton, take it away.
Thanks so much, Jack. We'll keep checking in with him throughout the rest of this ball game. There was some confusion, like Jack mentioned, at the end of the first half, as the Valley Vista Monsoon walked off the field. Highland staying on the field before they went to the locker room. And there was a discussion between the refs and Coach Brock Farrell. That's what we were talking about. Peyton and I were, of course, speculating up here about what that conversation meant. And, of course, that's what Jack Johnson does, is work his sources down on the field. And he found out that the running clock will be in effect for the entirety of the first half, of the second half, rather, as Highland is up 40-0. Normally the running clock would start at 42-point difference between the winner and the loser. Jackson Ray onto the field now to kick this one away for the Highland Hawks as we begin the second half of play in Gilbert.
And with Jackson Ray set to kick it off, you have to wonder, Alex, is that pretty much the same way of thinking if you were to forfeit? Down 40 points, the clock running, how many points would they need to even score potentially to get the clock going again if you're the head coach over there on the opposing sideline?
That's a question for the philosophers to think about.
Well, it'll be fielded. Running down the left edge, and a big play to start the half for the Monsoon, as breaking that kickoff was Javon Hampton, the junior wide receiver. And good starting field position for Valley Vista, but that's not necessarily something that's been unfamiliar throughout this one.
Yeah, they've had a number of chances in this ball game, even so much as getting into Highland territory, but when its pushes come to shove, they have not been able to complete their drives. A turnover on downs, a missed field goal, and an interception in the first half. That really hindered their offensive production.
In 5 drives, only 1 executed punt, Alex, but you look at the results of each drive. Missed field goal, and this one's going to be brought back for a penalty, so another miscue from Valley Vista, but 5 drives, only 1 executed punt, a miscue on a punt that resulted in a safety, a missed field goal, a turnover on downs, and then an interception to go with it. And it's just been a nightmare night for Valley Vista. So DeLay will hand it off to start the half. Some running room here. A big hit at the end of the play as a first down is picked up. On the carry there, I do believe that was Yasid Tyler, the running back, and the chains move.
Amon Allen was in there to make the tackle. And the Highland Hawks will come out with most of their starting lineup on the field, at least for the moment. I'd expected them to get maybe 1 or 2 drives in this second half if the game keeps trending the way it has been.
Yeah, Allen, Delsey, both out there as the safeties for Highland, as DeLay will take this QB keeper and make a cut or two to the outside. A nice run from DeLay as he picks up another first down, that time a gain of 13.
Good gain for DeLay. Just under 2 minutes into this half, and there's been some good production from this offense of the Monsoon so far. Let's see if they can keep it up once they get into Highland territory.
So 2 good runs for the Monsoon, and they picked up about 25 yards or so already on this drive as they have the ball on the 40-yard line. 1st and 10. DeLay will sling it out to Yazid Tyler, who stood up at the line of scrimmage and tackled. On the stop, again, it's Eamon Allen.
Yeah, Tyler has not looked too bad in this ball game. They've been splitting time between him and number 24, Henry Brown. I'd say their time has been about equal, but I think the better carries so far have come from Brown.
Tyler gets 2 there. Clock running, as we mentioned, to lead the second half. It will be doing so throughout the rest of this ball game. 2nd and 8. Highland brings pressure. DeLay gets it out quickly and completes it, but not to too much avail as the play is snuffed down after a gain of 3. The man with the catch, Carson Alcock.
And Peyton, if there is any chance for Valley Vista here in this second half with this running clock, they've got to start getting it going right now. A big 3rd down for Highland to try and get off the field here and really slam the door.
The Monsoon inching towards plus territory. A 1st down would put them on Highland's side of the field, but that is the task at hand as they have 4 yards to go to move the sticks. Tight end motions across the formation. They'll run it with Tyler, and that's going to be stuffed. Archibald amongst others for Highland to make the play.
Tyler Archibald has not started most of this season, but today he has made a number of big tackles, that one included.
The offense will stay out on a 4th down. Really nothing to lose for the Monsoon, down 40. 4th and 4 from the 46. Tyler flanks to the right of the quarterback, DeLay. Blitz comes for Highland. DeLay gets it out quickly, completes it, short of the marker. Ball comes down, it's loose, Highland has it. Fumble recovery, he wouldn't have gotten the pickup he needed to move the chains anyway. And Highland forces her 2nd takeaway of the evening.
Jackson Delsey comes away with it. He's played both ways before on Frosh and JV, and he gets a fumble recovery there. 1st down for the Highland Hawks.
And we'll see some more of Taylor Siren, the junior quarterback who played as close to an immaculate half of football as you can at the quarterback position. Bond will be the running back to start this drive as some of the backups start to circulate into the game for the Hawks. Threatening 7-man front for the Monsoon as Bond gets his number called and he punches ahead for a gain of 6.
Bond in limited action this season has been pretty effective for Highland, playing behind 2 pretty decent, that's probably understating it, pretty good running backs between Max Davis and the starter Daniel Wood.
Really speaks to the scheme and the composition, I should say, of this offense, that you can just put guys in and they're going to make plays. Bond will try to make another one here, but he's going to lose his footing, get tackled in the backfield. Jordan Lee got a piece of the running back and sets up a 3rd and medium.
Highland already with good starting field position after the fumble recovery at the 45. See if they can get it going here and really slam the door.
Monsoon trying to get off the field. Siren will let it go. It's caught. Turning upfield is a Highland receiver. And the 1st down will be picked up. The man with the catch for Highland is Logan Kingsford, the junior receiver, standing at 5'11", 143 pounds. Is able to continue the drive for the Hawks.
Kingsford saw a little bit of time in the first half, hasn't seen the field that much this season. Now has a reception to his credit and a good one to get a 1st down.
Siren continues to rack up the passing yards as that is Bond. It's to his left, and a man jumped offside, cheating forward to try and jump the play. Jeremiah Ruiz with the infraction. It'll be 1st and 5 for Highland after the penalty. Clock running now, down inside. 6 minutes to play in this half, this quarter. penalty flag comes out. As the ball is placed in its original mark after infraction pre-snap by Highland wipes out the 5-yard penalty the play before on the Monsoon. They're going to run it. It's Bond, and Bond is stood up and tackled. Another penalty flag.
Flag flew right at the end of the play as Bond was getting tackled by 2 defenders. That was Darren Lee and number 20, Vincent Thompson, on the tackle.
The new offensive lineman checks into the game. That's Bronson Barney, a 6'3", 245-pound junior center. So 2 receivers to the top of the formation, 1 to the bottom. Siren hands it off to Bond again, and Bond is going to have no room to run. Another tackle by Jordan Lee, who's been active on this drive, and Highland is moving in the wrong direction.
Jordan Lee, the 6-foot senior DE, blew the route there, busted the offensive line of Highland, made the tackle.
Jordan Lee has already gotten 2 nice plays on this drive and is trying to add another notch in the belt. He, along with his defense, playing for pride at this point. All these seniors, most likely what it looks like their last high school football game. Siren will throw. Trying to sling it out to Kingsford, and he can't connect. 3rd down and a long way to go, 19 yards to move the chains.
Yeah, that's the time you'll see Highland. Probably don't need to take a long shot down the field here. You might see them set up a screen to the right side, to the smaller end of the field, depending upon where it is placed. It's going to be in the middle, so they could do this on either side. I expect a shorter play, try and set up some blockers. Not a big risk here on 3rd and 19.
And the clock is stopped. 4 minutes and 50 seconds. We thought we'd be encountering a running clock throughout this second half, but that's not been the case so far. Siren will throw. Quickly to Kingsford, too tall. Incomplete, and Highland will bring on the punt unit for the first time this evening. Oh, unless they leave the offense on the field. Siren is talking to his coaching staff right now. Haven't seen Jackson Ray yet. Now the punt unit comes out.
Yeah, there really would be not much reason there to try and go for it. In a situation, if this game was closer, you could make an argument for it.
So wait, Jackson Ray is actually going to try a field goal from here.
This is from
he could hit from anywhere, but this is about 50 yards.
From the 47, this is a 57-yard field goal from the 47-yard line.
Well, they're going to give Jackson Ray a chance to show off the leg. And a delay a game on Highland, you'd think, has to knock out a chance of trying this field goal, right?
That would be a 62-yard field goal, Peyton. I don't think I've seen that, save for maybe the NFL. I might have seen a 63-yarder years ago at Lambeau Field. It was the Packers and the 49ers. Might have been Vernon Davis with a 63-yarder. That's the only time I can ever remember seeing a longer field goal.
Alex Gall regaling us of a foregone time long, long ago, and Alex, I believe the all-time long is 64 yards, so the fact that they were willing to leave Jackson Ray out there as a high school kicker from 57 is impressive. He'll punt this one, though. It is a good one that's going to bounce inside the 5 and be fielded there. And the ball is going to roll all the way down to the 2, and Jackson Ray with the jam.
Well, he didn't get his field goal, but he did make the most of the punch. It's a beautiful punt inside the 5-yard line, and it's a consolation prize for the young kicker.
Well, a highlight's a highlight nonetheless, and Coach McNamara is proud of his specialist. As Highland's defense will have 98 yards to defend. So I hand the play-by-play duties back off to Alex Gall.
Payne, it's been a good one here at Highland High School. I say that a lot on these broadcasts, but it is true every time I say it. So much fun to be out here for playoff football. It's beautiful weather all night long. 69 degrees right now is the temperature in Gilbert as it's blown up at the line. No gain on the play. He did get out of the end zone as Highland potentially looking at a second safety on the ball game.
And it has just been such a fun season, such a treat to bring this season to you here on the Highland Hawk TV network.
Number 43, Garrett Bullwinkle, made the tackle. You know who he's the son of? That's Dr. Bullwinkle. He'll replace your teeth. We've mentioned it a number of times this season. If there's any teeth that are lost in this ball game, Dr. Bullwinkle will take care of him for it. Blown up the line, nearly was a safety as Yazid Tyler falls forward across the 2-yard line, but it was close to a safety.
Highland trying to get their second of the evening. Had one in the first half off a botched snap on a punt. Backup cornerback warming up, and look at that. Gage Daly down on the sideline throwing the football, playing some catch. A good sign for Highland as their starting quarterback, who's been out the last couple of weeks with a shoulder injury, is dressed for tonight.
Now, I don't want to speculate, Peyton, but big win here potentially. Big lead, rather, for Highland so far. Wouldn't be the worst try if they think he's close enough to being back to throw him out there for a series or two.
Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't really see the benefit necessarily of getting him in the game just in case he were to re-injure it. But the fact of the matter is, if he's healthy enough to suit up and throw a football on the sideline, it means he's probably not that far from playing in-game action. Highland a couple rounds away from a state championship berth. If they were to get there, there is a potential that Gage Daly could be a part of that.
It's now 4th and 8. They'll punt from the back of their own end zone.
This didn't go well last time.
The punt goes away from the quarterback, Burton Daly. It is a good punt. We fielded it at the 45-yard line. Return on the near side by Grayson Kennedy. Kennedy spins off a defender and is inside the 30. Good return from the young wide receiver, number 11. That's Grayson Kennedy.
It was a good punt, but the punter kind of outkicked his coverage. His delay put his foot all the way through that one, and his guys weren't able to get down there in time. Kennedy took advantage with a nice return.
There's a look down on the sidelines. That's number 12, Gage Daly. He's warming up on the sidelines. Just something to keep note of for Highland Hawks fans. Even if he's not game ready quite yet, he's out there and he's getting ready. Highland starts from inside the 30-yard line. A handoff given to the running back. Going forward right now, and is that an offensive lineman, Peyton?
I do not believe so, unfortunately.
Fisher, Jared Spencer gets the carry. Hanalai Baker gets the gets the carry on the last play.
And as you said earlier in the broadcast, some JV players are up today. A lot of players aren't even wearing the varsity jersey. You see some white numbers down on the sideline. Some of the numbers have gotten switched up for this game, and you'll have to bear with us on some of the roster names.
Takes the snap, hands it off again to Baker. Baker across the 20.
Getting everybody in the football game now. This could be the last game played on this field for some of the seniors for Highland, so don't be surprised if some of these guys get into this football game here today and get an opportunity to make some memories happen. Of course, that is dependent on what's happening over with Boulder Creek and Queen Creek on the other side of town.
Longest field goal kick in NFL history is 64 yards. Thanks to my family for sending me that one. It's from Matt Prater, December 8th, 2013. What a kick that was. But we're talking about a man here, Peyton, that told us a couple weeks ago he could kick it from anywhere. He meant anywhere. Siren hands off to Baker. Baker around the outside, inside the 15, near the 11-yard line before being taken down. That'll be enough, I believe, for a first down.
Kicking it from anywhere is nice, but I'm sure his coaching staff and everybody who's a Highland fan would rather have him kick it from about 5 yards out for extra points instead of having to try 50-plus yard field goals. Jackson Reyes had his fair share of those this evening.
Queen Creek still trailing in this ball game. It's 28-27. Boulder Creek took a bigger lead before now just a couple minutes ago. Falling forward, he might be into the end zone. He's close. And it'll move the chains. Now it'll be 2nd and goal. Just mentioned again, coming out of the halftime break, a second touchdown from the quarterback of Boulder Creek. His second touchdown run of the game, and they extended their lead to 28-20 before just a couple minutes ago, Queen Creek answering back, and it's now 28-27.
I actually believe it's a yard short, and they'll try for the end zone here before the quarter ends.
Takes the snap, hands it off Baker. Baker stops short of the goal line. Time winding down here in the third quarter of play, and that will be how it finishes. We played 12 minutes with no points scored, 40-0. Highland after 3. Give a couple seconds here. We'll go down to Jack Johnson in just a couple seconds. You'll have an interview with a couple people who were honored before this game and are now officially a part of the USMC. Now down to Jack Johnson on the sideline. Jack, what do you have for us?
I'm down on the sideline with two of Highland's finest alumni, Gabriel Monroe and Weston Dana. Weston, my first question for you. I talked to your dad right before the game. He just gushes with pride about you. But one thing he said was what this coaching staff established in you in terms of values that you carried on to the Marines. So just speak a little bit on what Coach Brock Farrell and this entire staff, what the Highland Hawks meant for you.
Really just giving 110% in everything that you do. If you're going to do something, really just give it your all. There's no point in doing anything if you're not going to give it your all. Also, whatever you do, like before you do it, think about how it's going to reflect on you, your family, and the school. So in the Marine Corps, I brought it to, it's going to reflect on me, my family name, and the Marine Corps.
Gabriel, you guys just went through boot camp. Just tell me how that experience was. Tell me about the 54-hour hike you guys did to finally earn the title of Marine.
Well, going to boot camp was a lot challenging in different ways, but when you have a brother with you all the time, sleep with them all day, every day, it's a lot easier on the mind, and physical pain goes a lot less. And the 54-hour hike, it was just something you have to tough through it. The brothers to the left and right of you are going through the exact same thing. Minimal food, minimal sleep, and by the end of it, it's going to be all over. We're going to have the title of United States Marine. So that's what keeps pushing all of us until we get to the top of that hill.
And then, Weston, I have another question for you. You were able to play here. How about your impressions of this team this year?
This year? Yeah. When I got back, I went on YouTube and I looked at all the highlights, and they look like they're doing very well. One of the things that stood out was, the D-line, because it's basically all my junior friends, they were juniors, and now I see them, they're killing it. So honestly, I feel like they're doing really well. Same with Jay-Sean. I heard, and everyone's injured, I see now, but I heard they'll be back next game, and hopefully I'll be back next week to watch the game. So I want to watch them perform.
The last question for you. So you guys were able to graduate from boot camp. So what's the next step in the process?
Well, me and him have different jobs, MOSs. So for him, we both go to Camp Pendleton, but I go there for MCT for 30 days. He goes there for 2.5 months. Then after that, he gets the fleet and he does big and better things, and I go to Virginia for another 9 months, and then to DC.
So you'll be training for another 9 months?
Yeah, about.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for your service, and thank you again for supporting the Highland Hawks community.
No problem.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Back up to you guys.
Thank you so much, Jack, and two inspiring athletes, former athletes at this school. And it looks like a couple special teams players will have the white numbers, a couple JV call-ups getting some action here on special teams on the ensuing kickoff from, well, we talked about it. We haven't rather talked about it. Braden Bond with a touchdown run for Highland off a nice pitch play from the quarterback Taylor Siren. It's now 47-0 in favor of the Hawks.
And that clock should be running the rest of the way.
11:54 remaining here in the fourth quarter of play. Clock stopped at the moment. It should be running now officially with the first score of the half, now over that 42-point threshold.
I suppose playoff rules could be different, but we were told at halftime by Jack Johnson the clock would be running for the entire second half, and that's just not been the case.
Kick is away. It's out of bounds, and, well, Jackson Ray won't be thrilled with that one. And it'll give better field position to Valley Vista. They haven't had too many great field positions today, but they've had a couple decent drives, Peyton. What haven't they done aside from not get the turnovers battle won as well?
Well, it's also a shame on that last play that Ray kicked it out of bounds because those guys with the white numbers were ready to hit somebody. The first varsity play, but this offense has done well on a play-to-play basis of having the right concepts and being in the right positions, but they've not executed at the level that they need to on each and every play to yield positive results consistently enough for them to score points. They've been able to move the ball up and down the field, but Highland, man for man, is a more talented team. Since Valley Vista has not been able to out-execute them, it has cost them in the score column, as every time they've come close to scoring, they've made a mistake, or Highland has taken advantage of a mistake from Valley Vista. It's resulted in points. Valley Vista is going to elect to have them re-kick this football instead of taking the penalty yardage.
So I just saw something when I was scrolling through Twitter while you were talking, Peyton, and I got to mention it.
I'm glad you were listening intently.
Of course I was. I can do both. I'm good at multitasking. No, I'm not. I'm terrible at multitasking, as many people would tell me. Teresa Tudrick, who was here and was on our broadcast earlier today, she's all over the place tonight for Arizona family. She's now at the, now she's at the Mountain Ridge versus Perry Pumas game. And at the game, she's found something on the sidelines. I believe Mountain Ridge has something called a turnover tuba.
That is spectacular.
First impression, Peyton. Turnover tuba.
I love it. I'm in love. The turnover tuba.
It's sitting behind the bench. There's a picture of it on Twitter. You can look it up at Teresa Tudrick. It just seems like a pretty cool thing, honestly. I love little quirks like that in the high school game, Peyton.
So do they get to play the tuba if they force a turnover?
I have no clue.
It about? Like, what happens?
Well, I will have to keep you updated with that one, as we'll keep keeping you updated with the other games around Arizona high school football. Queen Creek and Boulder Creek. It's a big one that matters a lot to this game. 47-0 Highland. The winner of this game will play the winner of Boulder Creek and Queen Creek. That game will be here if Boulder Creek pulls out the win, or it would be in Valley Vista. And it will also be at that school, Queen Creek, if Queen Creek pulls it out.
Queen Creek was here earlier this year and got thumped by Highland. Just something to keep note of. Highland very familiar with both of those teams, but just going back to the turnover tuba, you look around college football, it started a couple years ago with the turnover chain down in Miami, the University of Miami, but it's really blossomed into something. At Oregon State, you've got the turnover chainsaw. There was turnover gains for a game. Chase Lucas lifting the dumbbell as this one's fielded. I'll finish the thought in a moment.
Fielded by number 8, Derek Miller, as he's across the 50 for a pretty decent return off a short kick. Jackson Ray was out there, nearly involved in the play. And you see a couple other junior varsity players getting some run for Highland. I believe that was number 13. If the numbers hold, and I'm sorry if they're not, that's number 13, Diego Root.
But just finishing that thought up, you've got a turnover chainsaw up at Oregon State. Have you seen Ed, Edd and Eddy? Remember that cartoon from your childhood?
A little bit. I didn't admittedly watch that specific cartoon, but I know of what you're referring to.
So in that cartoon, there was a character called Plank. That was literally just a plank of 2x4 pine wood with a face drawn on it. Kennesaw State has a turnover plank. Their defensive players just hold it up whenever they get a turnover. It's fantastic.
That is, in a word, awesome.
Yes. Turnover tubas in that stratosphere, though.
I want to see it used, though, actually. Now I almost hope Highland or whoever wins this game would play that team. I believe that is Mountain Ridge. The colors matched on the uniforms in the picture. But, man, that's cool. Sorry. A little bit of a detour out of this confines of this game, but
not much is going on at this point. It's 47-0. Highland's well on their way to winning this one. Might as well give you some entertainment value, as that's provided on that play by some of these young defenders of the Hawks.
So Queen Creek has stormed back. They scored and converted a 2-point conversion. It's now Queen Creek 35, Boulder Creek 28 as of a minute ago.
Edgar Batista Herr, the senior, 5'9", 215, making that play. Good memory for that senior man. Being able to be a part of this game and make a nice play. Alex, if you forced a turnover, theoretically, in a high school football game, what song would you play on the turnover tuba?
Can I get a play to think about it?
Yes.
Quarterback drops back. That is Burton DeLay. He hits his receiver over the 35-yard line. It's a good play to number 15. That is Donovan Greathouse.
Nearly intercepted by an undercutting linebacker. Does move the chains. Tight window throw for DeLay.
I would just do the the dun 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 dun. That one there. That would be good.
Don't know the name of that song, but we all know it.
Yeah, it's a good one. Probably. That's the first song I could think of, so it might not be the best. I'll get back to you if we're here next week. DeLay almost jumped the coverage there. Was number 21, Daniel Rode. But as it goes, it's a reception for the receiver, Derek Miller.
Second straight play that could have easily been an interception, but it is a tight window completion for the Monsoon.
Rode gets another tackle. And as we mentioned the turnover tubas, now you're hearing some tubas on the Highland sideline right near the Farrell's Fanatics.
Sweet symphony.
DeLay going to rush to the right side. Play blowing up at the line. He still got out of it, at least for a moment, and got a couple extra yards on the play. Ty Wu is in there for the Highland Hawks.
Sophomore Fisher K-Mac also involved in the play.
The bench is open here at Highland High School here in the fourth.
Clock ticking down towards the 2/3 mark in the fourth quarter. Highland up 47-0.
8 minutes and 27 seconds left in this one. Empty formation for the quarterback. 5 receivers, 3 to the top, 2 to the bottom. 3 in the slot, takes a snap. Hits him in the flat. That's the receiver. That's Micah Alexander Kalla. He's up across the 20, near the 15.
Jackson Delsey checking into the game here.
It's quite possible, Peyton, there has been a change in the DB core of Highland. Jackson Delsey has been limited in today's ball game, at least by his standards. He's been playing almost every game this season and almost every snap. Takes the snap delay. Delay with 5 receivers lofting towards the corner of the end zone. Falling for it. It went right through his hands. That was Donovan Greathouse, and it was the best chance so far for Valley Vista to put some points on the scoreboard. But as it stands, an incomplete pass.
Hey, Adam. Ball just sailed a little bit. Greathouse wasn't able to catch up to it.
Been impressed with Greathouse. He's run some pretty good routes. Has done enough to get himself free a couple of times. They've motioned him across the formation, especially early in this game. He'll line up in the slot left. 5 receivers again for the quarterback. Burton DeLay takes the snap. DeLay with a 3-step drop, throwing towards the corner of the end zone, and it was a bit short. Looking for the back shoulder point. Coming up to make the play was number 46, Josh Allen. Also back there was Jackson Delsey in the quarterback slot.
As you see some substitutions run on, Allen was able to get in there quickly and force DeLay to let that ball go before he wanted to. Before the receiver broke back out of his route, forced an incompletion.
Out there right now for Highland is number 20, Cooper Eccles. As the Monsoon take a timeout here with 8 minutes and 36 seconds remaining. They know this is one of their best chances to put some points on the board here today. It's 4th and 5 from the 15-yard line when we come back after the timeout. We'll come right back. Peyton and Alex will take you the rest of the way. Highland up 47-0.
Get the big old nail, put it inside their head.
4th and 5 from the 15-yard line. Burton delay, takes the snap, throws across the end zone. It's incomplete. And he can't believe it. The receiver is Liam Kelleher, and the pass was a bit too far ahead of the receiver. Turnover on downs, and Highland takes over with 8 minutes and 26 seconds remaining, and it's going to be a lot of white numbers coming onto the field.
I believe it's actually, as you said, a lot of white numbers coming onto the field. 3 of them here. Again, kind of rickety on whether or not the numbers actually match the names there. Number 26, the running back. Actually, that's the quarterback. Excuse me, Ryan Burnell.
New quarterback is Ryan Burnell, the 5'10 junior. I'm not sure if the names match up quite right.
Offensive lineman with the carry. Check it off the bingo card. Actually, excuse me, no. We're at the point of the game where a 53 is a running back's number, apparently. That's Eli Lopez, who is on the roster as a running back, which is very disappointing. But good for you, Eli.
Just trying to make sure of this one and make sure we get all the names right. We have a roster, but it's the varsity roster. And as you can see, they're not wearing varsity jerseys, so it's tough to tell exactly who is who here on the field. We'll do our best. There's a right tackle in there for the Highland Hawks. Takes the snap, gives the handoff. He's got a black number, and that is Eli Lopez again. He's up towards the 30-yard line.
Big man running like an offensive lineman would, putting his shoulder down and running behind his pads.
There's now 2 53s now on the field.
That is highly illegal. That is not allowed.
Wait. Yeah, there's definitely
2 53s.
There's an offensive lineman for Highland that has 53. It's a white, so we could go 53 white, 53 black. I guess that's what where we're at right now. I don't know if the refs have noticed it, because that is not okay normally to have 2 players with the same number on the field at the same time. You can have 2 players with the same number, but you can't have them on the field at the same time. 53 gets the carry. That's Eli Lopez, at least for the moment.
Maybe.
We don't know anymore, guys.
And there's a penalty flag. I do know that.
Also strange, the PA has gone strangely silent here at Highland High School. They're really not sure of it either, so it's not just us. We've got a roster. It looks pretty accurate. It's very well put together. Alicia Holman is our producer, executive producer. She puts all this stuff together, all these rosters, and they're beautiful, but we are just quite not sure exactly who is who on the field at the moment. We can confidently tell you that that is Eli Lopez. He's on the varsity roster at 53.
You got a 26 at quarterback. You got a 53 at running back. You got an 81 in at corner for Valley Vista.
Adam Nelson in there at the tight end slot with a slot receiver spot as well. He's a wide receiver, junior 6'1", slot left.
And another penalty.
Doubles to each side for the quarterback. Takes the snap or not.
Things are happening.
It's hard to believe that we're at this point, Peyton, in a playoff game here in a 16-team bracket. Not a 64-team bracket, but in a 16-team bracket.
Well, and some of these teams got in because teams from the open division were not in the playoffs. There were 3 of them, and that's not the case for Valley Vista. They would have been playing in a playoff game regardless. It just speaks to how good Highland's been here tonight.
And now down to the sideline to our reporter, Jack Johnson. Jack, what do you have for us?
Hey guys, one of the things I would like to update, the quarterback situation right now, they were, as I mentioned early in the game, they brought a couple players up from JV. Well, now we're getting to see a few of them. The quarterback right now is a sophomore brought up from JV, Matt Martinez. Couple interesting tidbits about Martinez. He plays baseball in the spring, so he has a cannon for an arm. Regularly plays quarterback on the JV side for Highland, and then most importantly came back from an injury this year. So just like most of the Highland Hawks, he's battled through a little bit of adversity with his health. Good to see Matt Martinez out there getting some reps at the varsity level, and not just at the varsity level, guys. Varsity playoffs. Good for Matt Martinez. One of the future stars of this Highland Hawks team, perhaps. Back up to you guys.
Jack Johnson, we're very thankful for what you do down there on the sidelines. It's getting us the information we do not have from up here in the booth. We're very glad to be here at Highland High School. We're happy to be bringing you this stream of Highland Hawks athletics and Highland football. Matt Martinez is the quarterback for the Highland Hawks. It is not Ryan Bernot, as it says on the varsity roster. Martinez gives the handoff
to someone. It's not Cooper Brown.
I don't believe it's Cooper Brown. Like you said, that is number 9 on your roster.
And he will be known as such to the end of this football game.
As someone.
Highland's offense, nothing really to lose or gain here. 4th and a lot. They're staying on the field at least until the play clock runs down. They might run the punter on here at the end.
We're now inside the last 2 minutes of this ball game. There's a minute 37 seconds on the clock. It's 4th and a country mile.
I think Highland's going to take the delay of game here.
They might give Jackson Ray a couple more yards to work with. Get as much time off the board as they can. Clock stops at 1 minute and 26 seconds.
I think Highland called a timeout on that play.
They might get all JVers in there right now.
Run the clock down as far as you can. Call a timeout. You're not going to do anything with it. Might as well keep the 5 yards in your defense's back pocket and your special teams back pocket. Maybe Jackson Ray can add some punt yards onto that average.
We'll see what they draw up here. It's probably going to be pretty basic.
I would imagine it's a punt.
You would?
I would.
I would, too. Deshaun Lee out there along with Jackson Ray, so it looks like it's, for the most part, the first-team punt team. It's probably important. Get some good blockers for Jackson Ray.
Return man has his toes at the 40-yard line. Jackson Ray, I'd imagine, is going to hit this ball with everything he's got.
He's got nothing to lose. He's got an open field in front of him. He's got 90 yards to kick. Let's see how many he can get on this one. He will put everything into it. It's a line drive. It's way over. And it's rolling inside the 20-yard line. That is a 70-yard punt. Maybe 65 after the roll. It got a generous roll, but that was an absolute bullet from Jackson Ray.
A lightning bolt from the right foot of Zeus incarnate. Jackson Ray with a boomer.
He kicked it from his own 10-yard line, and it'll be spotted at the 17-yard line.
Uncorked that one.
That's called clipping the field. Flipping the field, Peyton.
I would call it that, yes.
Near 80 yards, definitely past 70 if you count it from the spot at which he kicked it from.
Get a little assist from the wind, but an absolute crack from the punter.
Wind blowing directly southward, which is to the right of your screen. Left to right, the wind blowing. And a tackle made.
Clock running here. You probably see the last 1 or 2 plays, I'd imagine.
45 seconds left on the clock. 47-0 Highland. No rush here from the quarterback. Still first-team offense for the Valley Vista Monsoon, and what's most likely going to be their last game of this season. I can say that with pretty much certainty at the moment, as a running clock has speeded up this second half. Possibly last play here. Burton throws it, complete to his receiver. That's Greathouse. Tackled. Jeremy Walker with the tackle, and that'll be it here from Highland High School. The final in Gilbert. The Highland Hawks 47 and the Valley Vista Monsoon nothing. A shutout in the first round of the 6A playoffs for Brock Farrell and the Highland Hawks, and they will play the winner of Queen Creek and Boulder Creek next week. What a performance from the Highland Hawks here tonight.
You couldn't ask for a better one. Everybody on the team gets a piece of the pie here tonight, get to contribute, and Highland, without Gage Daly, without Tanner Crandall, without Daniel Wood, is able to put up 47 points and give up none. I don't know how you can get much more impressive than that on a football field.
Quick update for you, Peyton. Queen Creek has extended their lead against Boulder Creek. It's now 42-28 in the fourth quarter. So as it stands, Highland will play at Queen Creek next week. That's number 4 Queen Creek versus number 5 Highland. We'll keep giving you updates on that one. Stay tuned. Look for Twitter. Do all you can to keep yourself informed with all things Arizona 6A high school football. Regardless, we should be with you here next week, whether it's here at Highland or at Queen Creek. We'll get back to you. You can stay tuned to the @athletics_Hawks Twitter handle and @HighlandHawksFB Twitter handle to keep updated on our broadcast status for next week.
Well, and if you remember, Highland, when they played Queen Creek here on this very field earlier this year, won 38-3.
Playoff football changes everybody and everything.
Of course.
47-0 tonight for Highland. They should expect everything from Queen Creek next week if it is Queen Creek. And they'll be going to their building if it is that team. They'll be here against Boulder Creek. Good to see Gage Daly, Highland's starting quarterback, to begin the season, getting some reps in on the sideline on a Friday night here.
Who knows what his status will be going forward.
Don't want to speculate, but definitely a good sign to see your quarterback, your junior quarterback, sophomore quarterback warming up like that.
Well, and Highland was, correct me if I'm wrong, able to beat Queen Creek without Gage Daly earlier this year. I do believe that was Siren's first start. So, Daly potentially could be a luxury against the Bulldogs, but of course you want to have your full complement in a playoff road game. As Brock Farrell addresses his team, the victors here today, they come back from a tough loss last week against Desert Ridge.
Gage Daly, right side of your screen as Highland breaks huddle. We'll have a couple interviews with Jack Johnson down on the sideline before we close it out here from Gilbert. The final, the happy final for Highland, 47-0. Be right back on the Highland Hawks TV network. And now down to the sideline with Jack Johnson, who is with Max Davis.
We're down here with Max Davis. And Max, typically you carry the load as a running back with Daniel Wood, but with Wood out of the lineup tonight, you started the game. What'd you see out there? How big were those holes that you're running through in the first quarter?
The linemen set us up really well. It was awesome. It was just perfect. The linemen had the game plan totally. They knew it all, and it was great.
I mean, those were some of the best blocked run plays I've seen from you guys all year long. What does that make your job? I mean, how much easier does that make your job when you have your line performing like that?
Well, it's perfect because all I have is the safety, and once the safety's gone, it's all the way.
So now you guys are going to play either Boulder Creek or Queen Creek. What can you say about those teams that you've already played this year?
They both have strong D lines, but we have a better O line.
Strong D lines, better O line. Lastly, what do you think is your strong suit on the field? Running. You also can catch out of the backfield. I mean, how do you feel like that helps your offense, that you're able to be a dual threat?
Makes us more like they don't know what we're doing, so it's perfect.
Max, congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll go back up to you guys.
Thanks, Jack. We'll go back to him in a couple of minutes. He keeps working his sources down there. Appreciate everything he's doing on the field to make this broadcast as good as possible. He'll be with Coach Farrell in a couple seconds. Any closing thoughts, though, on the game, Peyton?
Highland having a magical season. They've had some bumps in the road, but truck just keeps rolling down the highway right now in pursuit of that 6A state title. And I think Jack is actually going to be with the punter, Jackson Ray, who I compared to a Greek god only moments ago.
And now down to the sidelines with Jack and Jackson.
All right, well, we were able to catch up with Jackson Ray. Jackson, that had to have been your best punt this season, but I want to go back a little bit earlier in the game. You guys walked out there for what was going to be a 57-yard field goal. There's no way that you guys...
Yeah, we were going to kick it, but, like, I hope I got it, but it was on my part because I didn't see the clock, so it ran out. Then we hit a punt.
Could you hit from 57 yards?
I mean, I've hit a 63 in practice, but that's not what
So you've hit all your good.
It's technique. It's like the drop and it's the toe pointed. But I got to give it to my shields because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to get a ball off.
Lastly, Jackson, you guys are going on in the playoffs. You got your family. You got your family surrounding you. How good is this feel to get your first playoff?
It feels great. I just am happy to play another game with my team. I mean, I'm going to miss the seniors when it's over.
Jackson, congratulations.
Thank you.
Go back up to you guys.
And that might have been the best answer of the season, Peyton. You guys went out there for a 57-yard field goal. Were you going to kick it? Because we don't think you were. Well done, Jackson. Well done. Couple great punts tonight, a couple good field goals. Now we'll go back down to the sidelines with Jack and now Coach Farrell.
He's like,
we're joking. We're joking down here on the field. We're joking down here on the field. A little bit of conversation going on between Coach Brock Farrell and Jackson Ray, the kicker. Coach, you guys were able to establish an early lead and pretty much carried it on throughout. So what were your takeaways from this game, a total team win?
Our defense comes to play every week, so that was awesome. Because that's a good Valley Vista team with a lot of talent, and we held them to 0. That's amazing. The biggest takeaway is no matter who was on the field tonight, we played hard, we played fast, we played physical. And it didn't matter if we were injured or not, we came away with a great team win. So I'm proud of the whole program tonight.
So you guys are advancing in the this week. You expect to get your quarterback returning, Gage Daly. What is he going to bring in the offense? And then I want to get your comments. Taylor Simon's come in. He's done a very good job as your backup quarterback, assimilating a role in the team to a really strong finish. So what can you say about him?
I mean, Taylor's been great. He's allowed us to really not have to change a whole lot. We still have the big play build with Taylor. The biggest difference is that if you look at Gage in his few games, he was hitting around 60 to 65% complete, and Taylor's at like 50. So, the accuracy and completion percentage goes up, so we have more successful plays. That's the biggest thing. That's our starter, and we'll go there. The other thing, it gives us a little more depth at safety because Taylor can go play defense. All in all, it's a win-win.
What were the guys? They'll put in a couple of JV guys at quarterback, Matt Martinez. How was it to get those guys a little bit of action in a playoff game in varsity?
It's always great when you can get young kids exposure to Friday night before it's like their first time, you know what I mean? So they were able to get exposure to a playoff atmosphere, varsity fights, without any fear of losing or making mistakes, because it doesn't really matter what happens anymore. So, and you know what? They came and they played hard. It was great. It was great to see.
So you blank Valley Vista. Now what are your goals in practice looking up to your second round matchup?
Well, it looks like we're going to have to go to Creek. So the big thing is it doesn't matter if we beat them before. Beating a team twice in one season is always difficult. So we're going to have to almost hit the reset button And, go to Queen Creek. It's a little different story than when they come here. A little bit of home field advantage, so to speak. So we just got to hit the reset button, take a look at what we did well against them, take a look at what we didn't, and fix it, and just execute no matter where we go.
Coach, you're moving on to the second round. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Coach Brock Farrell, he'll go celebrate his win with the team. 47. We'll go back.
Thanks, Jack, so much for all of your reporting here this evening. Interesting, though, Peyton, Coach Farrell did not deny when Jack Johnson asked him if Gage Daly might be back next week. So we definitely don't know for certain, but we'll go back to him, and he is now down on the sidelines with Braden Bond.
So we're with Braden Bond. Braden.
Well, I have to give it up to tonight. I was able to find the reads and make good decisions to get more yards. Up to them.
And what are the things you try and do as a running back to create holes for yourself, to get separation, really to kind of use your skills to your advantage?
Yeah, it takes a lot during practice and stuff. It put in the work. I mean, it just shows out on the field. If you put in the work on the field, then it shows out on the field. So
you're celebrating this win, 7:30 a.m. tomorrow. What are the things you guys are going to try and do this week in practice to get ready for Queen Creek?
Queen Creek's a good team, so we have to focus up mentally and have a good week of practice. So we have to just show out on Friday and do our thing.
What are the things you're expecting from yourself this week of practice and the next game?
Just have to play good, have to play to my best of ability to make sure I can get on the field next week and do the same thing I did tonight.
Braden, enjoy this win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Braden Vaughn, he's going to go celebrate with his team. That's it for me down here. 47-0, the final score. Highland Hawks moving on to the second round of the 6A playoffs. Back up to you guys.
Jack was so involved in his interview right there, as you see a picture going on with all of the seniors. He was so involved in his interview, he didn't even see Zach Schroeder coming to photobomb his interview.
He was doing the hurdle imitation like he was running back in track season.
Indeed he was, and I believe that'll be it for all of our interviews this evening. Just getting the final word from our producer, Travis Whitaker. And that is the final word. Thank you so much for everybody who has tuned in here on this broadcast this evening. For all of us, for the entire crew here, for Alicia Holman, our executive producer, for Peyton Gallagher, and the rest of our amazing crew here at Highland TV Network, I'm Alex Gall saying good night from Highland Hawks in Gilbert.